Following the efforts of Democratic senators to raise red flags about access given to Elon Musk and Doge, the Treasury's Office of the Inspector General will begin an audit of the government's payment system. That includes looking at Mr. Musk's idea of quote-unquote alleged fraudulent payments. At 2 this afternoon, an NTSB update on the January 29th crash over the Potomac that took the lives of 67 people. NTSB member Todd Inman spoke with 7 News.
We're going to do everything we can to not only find out the probable cause, but the contributing factors, and then make recommendations so that this doesn't happen again. It's a long process, but we've been at it a long time, 58 years, 15,000 recommendations, 100,000 aviation accidents. We're going to see it through.
Now sworn in, it's go time for HHS leader RFK Jr.
Secretary Kennedy plans to overhaul federal health agencies with a focus on, quote, radical transparency, and is working in tandem with a Maha Commission created by President Trump to reform food policy, which he believes is the root of chronic illnesses, expand healthcare access and treatment options, which he says is needed, and he's demanding more accountability for the pharmaceutical industry, which he believes puts profit over healthcare. But critics of Kennedy's confirmation persist. He's been called a quack, a villain, and an anti-vaxxer, which Kennedy denies.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. Checking your money at this hour. Dow's down 64. NASDAQ is up 26. Traffic and weather next. Then Dan Bongino.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver and cab driver, Arby.
Professional cab driver.
Sorry, professional cab driver, Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Stop for a spin?
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
Attention taxpayers, the IRS is intensifying collections in 2025. If you owe $10,000 or more or have unfiled tax returns, it's time to take action. Tax Network USA's experienced lawyers have saved clients over $1 billion. They're ready to negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Don't risk wage garnishment, property seizure, or losing your home. Call 1-800-278-9000 today. Get the help you need at 1-800-278-9000 or visit tmusa.com.
Working hard is worth it if you're seeing results. And when it comes to working out, the same thing is true. You want the maximum benefit in the time you have, and that's exactly what Tonal is built for. And with their latest iteration, Tonal 2, you can ensure your workout is more tailored and effective than ever. Tonal's at-home strength training system uses adaptive weight to learn from your movement and set the optimal weight for every move, adjusting in 1-pound increments up to 250 pounds, challenging even the most advanced users to push their limits. You can also experience a full-body burn with the new Arrowhead workouts, the perfect blend of heart-pumping cardio and strength. Plus, the new built-in Smart View leverages a high-resolution camera that lets you see yourself during your workout, analyzes your movement, and provides real-time coaching, just like a personal trainer. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code TONAL200. That's Tonal.com and use promo code TONAL200 for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com, promo code TONAL200 for $200 off.
Are you a parent of a child with disabilities who desperately needs a break? Then you need to know about Jill's House. To find out more, visit our website, jillshouse.org.
At 12:05, here's the latest from Mickey Lynch in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Look out for an accident outer loop of the Beltway just before 193 University Boulevard. It's blocking the left lane. You're in a backup beginning at I-95. Traveling in Virginia, southbound I-95, you're going to see delays between Lorton and the Occoquan. In the district, 295 northbound has just been very slow all morning between the 11th Street Bridge and Pennsylvania Avenue, and southbound 395. Look out for road work before the 14th Street Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
For the rest of the afternoon, sunny, high near 39. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low around 28. Tomorrow, rain, possibly mixed with some snow, mainly after 1 p.m., high of only 42. Saturday night, rain, low 38 degrees. Sunday, rain, but much warmer. Temperatures up near 60 right now. 36 and sunny in Tysons, 36 and sunny in Tacoma Park, 38 and sunny at Reagan National in Washington, D.C. I'm Scott Lynn on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Dan Bongino.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Filling in for Dan, Jim Beatty, and Evita Duffy Alfonso.
Jim and Evita filling in for Dan today. Thanks for joining me. We've got a lot more winning to talk about today. A lot more winning. We're going to treat it again like an open line Friday. 844-484-3872 is the number. 8444-the-USA. You want to get on the show? Hello, Evita. Haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while, Jim, but I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
You got the Washington crud, didn't you?
Oh, I know. We all got sick. Everybody, Dan, myself, anyone that was in DC for the inauguration was sick. And I feel so bad for everyone listening to my podcast because I was just coughing through the whole thing for 2 weeks straight, but I'm all better now.
That's kind of crazy. So, okay, we haven't really talked much since Trump took the presidency. So I just want to start off by getting your thoughts about how you think things are going so far.
Listen, Jim, this is an incredible shift. This is one of the most important and I think changing moments we've ever had in American history. We are actually seeing results. I think for the first time ever, Republicans are doing something, and it's not even Republicans, it's just President Trump. And you're seeing, to me, one of the most amazing things, the left suddenly becoming, in my opinion, the new conservatives, in that they're freaking out. Everything is very, they're passing legislation, for instance, reparations that nobody asked for, nobody wants, just sort of to signal to their people, look, we're trying, we're doing something, but in reality, they have no power anymore. They are like the new ineffectual Republicans, and we're actually implementing the change that the American people asked for in November.
So the problem with them is that they don't really have any ideas whatsoever. Meanwhile, Trump came into office, and I think this was getting started before the election when he was having conversations with RFK, and he was having conversations with people from different stripes, Tulsi Gabbard, people that are not conservatives by any stretch of the imagination, weren't even Republicans for the longest time. And he's taking all this input, Elon Musk getting his input and trying to figure out a plan of what they would do if they would win. And then in the time after he won until right now, it's been incredible. They were putting all these things together to say on day one, we're going to get things started. And every politician always says, on day one, we're going to do this. And on day one, we're going to do that. Well, on day one, he did what he said he was going to do on day one and more. And it hasn't stopped. It's been, all the old cliche stuff, drinking from a fire hose, whatever. But it's not, it's amazing the way they have gone about this. Dan calls it the Rock'em Sock'em robots. And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
The Democrats can't get a foothold on what to attack next.
Jim, and I to add to that, we are noticing new media and suddenly the antiquated way that the government used to communicate with the people just totally crumble. And what I love about this administration is that even though the left is calling it opaque and not transparent, and Elon Musk, we have no idea what he's doing. It's like, no, Doge has a website. And they are telling you every single thing that they are defunding or getting rid of. You can go to their website and read it. You can go to US.gov.spending and figure out exactly what programs you're funding in the first place. This is one of the most transparent administrations I've ever experienced, ever. You have DHS and my dad at the Secretary of Transportation and Pete Hegseth. They're all making videos. They're all communicating. They're using social media. They're using new media to communicate with the American people and keep up to date so that we don't just elect someone and then figure out what happened after 4 years of hearing really nothing from the White House unless some real journalist decides to poke and figure out what's going on. This is revolutionary what's happening, the level of communication we're getting from this administration, and I'm all here for it.
Well, and I'll go one step further with that. You mentioned Pete Hegseth and what he was doing, domestically, but also he's taken it overseas along with J.D. Vance just this morning making a speech. Pete Hegseth at NATO was telling NATO the way it was going to be, saying, hey, it's a new game in town. You all have to pony up your money. We're not footing the bill for all of this anymore. He's letting them know. You had I should have pulled that cut, but it was the cut of the head of NATO saying, hey, Secretary Hegseth is right. We can't depend on them alone anymore. We have to start defending ourselves. We have to start paying for this defense ourselves. The Secretary of NATO said that. And then this morning, J.D. Vance is in Germany, and he is letting the Europeans have it about letting Western civilization crumble. You know, you've talked about this all the time, the mass migration problem in Western Europe. You have parts of Germany you can't go into. You have parts of the United Kingdom you can't go into. Police are afraid to go into certain areas because of the migrant hordes that have gathered there. And they're basically just gangs, and they don't allow any type of law and order to go on. J.D. Vance addressed some of this. Here he is talking about that mass migration.
We saw the horrors wrought by these decisions yesterday in this very city. And of course, I can't bring it up again without thinking about the terrible victims who had a beautiful winter day in Munich ruined. Our thoughts and prayers are with them and will remain with them. But why did this happen in the first place? It's a terrible story, but it's one we've heard way too many times in Europe and unfortunately too many times in the United States as well. An asylum seeker, often a young man in his mid-20s, already known to police, rams a car into a crowd and shatters a community. How many times must we suffer these appalling setbacks before we change course and take our shared civilization in a new direction? No voter on this continent went to the ballot box to open the floodgates to millions of unvetted immigrants.
And that's one of the problems we're trying to correct here in our country right now. It hasn't gotten to the extent that the Europeans have let it get to, but we're actually taking action. And I'm hoping that they see this action as necessary and seeing the results and hopefully seeing they can do it too. But I'm really hesitant to believe they're going to learn anything and listen to what he's trying to tell them.
Well, what's fascinating is who he was speaking to, right? He's speaking to the European elites at this conference, and he is voicing the sentiment that I think most regular Europeans who aren't holding public office feel, right? They're watching the identity of their nation crumble. And it's different than America, Jim, and I think every nation has a right to secure borders, but we are much more of a melting pot. If you are from, say, Britain, these are a people who have, looked the same, talked the same, had the same culture for centuries. In our case, we've evolved over time. We're brand new. It's different. And for them, I think it's even more, they're experiencing even more of an identity crisis. And that J.D. Vance got up there and he articulated to these world leaders, you're destroying yourselves from within. And the and the people that you are supposedly representing don't want this was a really powerful moment. And it's even more powerful coming from a vice president here in America, because Mike Pence has talked about this over and over again. He's a deep state whistleblower, former State Department official, that America has largely been driving anti-populism sentiment abroad, that they actually will use outlets like USAID to suppress populist leaders from rising in Europe. And suddenly America is signaling to the European countries in the West, hey, that's not going to happen anymore. There's a new sheriff in town. We are for authentic democracy. We're for authentic freedom and fair elections. And we're not going to be meddling in a way that will suppress the will of the people anymore.
That's right. Our involvement is it's going to go down in ways that it needs to go down, and we'll be involved probably in ways that we need to actually involve ourselves in to be able to encourage that type of change back to Western civilization. And you're right that they have, like, the Brits have a British identity, the Germans have a German identity, the Polish a Polish identity. They have an identity that has been cultivated through centuries. And they're on the brink of losing that. And if somebody in those countries speaks out about it, then they are in trouble now. They can get thrown in jail for speaking out about it. And let me make your point right after this. I want to, J.D. Vance, address that as well to these European leaders' faces in this speech this morning.
And unfortunately, when I look at Europe today, it's sometimes not so clear what happened to some of the Cold War's winners. I look to Brussels, where EU commissars warn citizens that they intend to shut down social media during times of civil unrest the moment they spot what they've judged to be, quote, hateful content. Or to this very country, where police have carried out raids against citizens suspected of posting anti-feminist comments online as part of, quote, combating misogyny on the internet, a day of action.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, Jim, because you're seeing J.D. Vance articulate exactly how these European powers have warped the idea of democracy and freedom. They say, oh, we're protecting democracy by, censoring disinformation because it's things that are untrue, and they've named themselves the arbiters of truth. And not only that, but they will arrest people who are silently praying outside of abortion clinics. That's what he was referencing. It has happened multiple times in the UK. And America, like I said, Jim, is not going to support or enable these Orwellian policies anymore. America is exporting a new kind of culture, and frankly, a far more American type of statecraft. And I'll also add, Jim, on the immigration issue, that we are also facilitating peace abroad. People are really angry that Trump is calling for negotiations between Zelensky and Putin. They're mad that he said, Ukraine is not going to join NATO anytime soon because he wants to neutralize the situation. He's not interested in a massive NATO proxy war that it gets hundreds of thousands of more people killed. And it is those conflicts that are sparked for whatever reason by Western powers that create immigration crises across the globe that then destroy the identity of people in Europe and here in America. They have been nothing but cancerous for the United States and for all these European powers. And America is signaling enough. We want peace. We want nationalism. We want prosperity for the entire world.
And that's exactly it. I think you hit on it. It's like the ideas of these leftist governments and these leftist leaders that want to help, they want to extend, they want to lend a helping hand or whatever, leads to the destruction basically of their own countries. They never think it out, and that's why, and then they shut down the voices from the right who try and have a discussion and make them contemplate, well, what could be the consequences if we take these kinds of actions? They shut those voices off and then just do the actions, and then are really surprised. So they're really surprised when they get negative actions like these communities that they can't go into, these gangs of people that are basically working against the government, fomenting terror attacks like the one in Munich that J.D. Vance was referencing. And then they ignore that it's happening. They just pretend that it's not happening. They're still in that thing. Or they'll do the whole thing, well, it is happening, but it's good that it is. And right. Yeah, so they can't win. All right, we got a lot going on today. Lots more winning. Got plenty of Democrat meltdowns for you, too. It's an open line Friday. 844-484-3872 is the number. 844-4-the-USA. One real quick thing. I'm looking on TV right now. It said Trump, they got a picture in the Oval. Trump has actually hung his mugshot in the Oval Office. And I think that's awesome. All right, we'll be right back.
How well do you sleep at night? Real peace of mind can come from knowing your family's prepared for tough times. My Patriot Supply, one of America's most trusted names in emergency preparedness, is offering a limited time discount on their supersized Mega 3-month emergency food kit. It's not your typical survival food. Each kit provides over 2,500 calories daily for 90 days with delicious meals and extras. Chicken, beef, fruits, veggies. We're talking high quality meals that last up to 25 years in storage and still taste like they're home. The pandemic taught us how quickly store shelves can empty. So don't wait for an emergency. Your Mega emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply includes includes free shipping, a disaster replacement warranty, can't beat that, and a 24/7 U.S.-based support team. This special discount's available for this week only. Do what Jim and I did, prepare. So go to mypatriotsupply.com now. Secure your family's future with a $250 discount. You order by 3 p.m., they'll ship your order within the same day. So you have peace of mind right away. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. Once again, mypatriotsupply.com. Get a $250 discount and same-day shipping if you order by 3 p.m. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Working hard is worth it if you're seeing results. And when it comes to working out, the same thing is true. You want the maximum benefit in the time you have, and that's exactly what Tonal is built for. And with their latest iteration, Tonal 2, you can ensure your workout is more tailored and effective than ever. Tonal's at-home strength training system uses adaptive weight to learn from your movement and set the optimal weight for every move, adjusting in 1 pound increments up to 250 pounds. Challenging even the most advanced users to push their limits. You can also experience a full body burn with the new Arrow Hit workouts, the perfect blend of heart pumping cardio and strength. Plus, the new built-in Smart View leverages a high-resolution camera that lets you see yourself during your workout, analyzes your movement, and provides real-time coaching, just like a personal trainer. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code TONAL200. That's Tonal.com and use promo code TONAL200 for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com, promo code TONAL200 for $200 off.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
LifeLock, during tax season, your sensitive info does a lot of traveling to places you can't control, stopping off at payroll, your accountant or a tax preparer, and countless other data centers on its way to the IRS. Any of them can expose you to identity theft because they all have the info on your W-2. Just a ticket for criminals to steal your identity. I had my identity stolen. It was horrible. I got LifeLock. I've been a customer ever since. I've never, ever had that problem again. No wonder the IRS reported tax fraud due to identity theft went up 20% last year. Get LifeLock today. Don't get your identity stolen. They monitor millions of data points per second and alert you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, backed by the $1 million protection package. Restoration's guaranteed or your money back. Don't mess around with this stuff. I dealt with this for a long time before I had LifeLock. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Get LifeLock protection for tax season and beyond. Join now, save up to 40% for your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock, use promo code Bongino, or go to LifeLock.com/Bongino for 40% off. Terms apply. Do it today.
Radiology. Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, really not stuck, really. People think when it comes to paying for health care, they just have to kind of go along with the way it is, no matter how frustrated they are with it. But it's not true. MediShare has been a huge help to people for 30 years now. And more these days, especially, people are realizing what a great alternative it is. And the difference isn't just the savings, which are huge. It's the whole thing. You're part of something good. It's a community of people who care for and pray for and encourage each other. You don't have to pay for things you don't believe in either. You're actually sharing. And yeah, back to the savings, often up to $500 a month with MediShare. The customer service is refreshing too because they're for you. It's just a different way. And even though you might feel stuck with a frustrating status quo, it's not so. You can call them now and start saving and feeling better about how you're doing it too. Here's the number. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 till 9 on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Official headquarters for the Bongino Army, the Dan Bongino Show.
It's Jim and Avita in for Dan. Dan's back Monday. We were just talking about J.D. Vance, and a lot of people reached out on X and Truth Social. By the way, if you want to get to me or Avita and comment today, we might read your comment on the air. I'm at JJ Verdi, at JJVERDI, and Avita's at Avita Duffy _1. And let's see, Harrison here says, Jim, the Trump administration is really a rainbow coalition. You've got hardcore people like Stephen Miller, stock Republicans like Rubio, 2 former Democrats, total rainbow coalition. I think that's what's making the whole thing work, Vita, that you have all these different people that are contributing, and it's from, they want diversity. Diversity is our strength, Vita. I don't know if you've heard that before, but that's what's making this work, don't you think?
Yeah, and there's a lot of conversation. Oh, Trump, he's picking DEI picks because they might not. They're very Pete has, Pete Hegseth's a DEI pick because Trump watched him on Fox News. Not to mention that Trump, that Pete Hegseth is a combat veteran. He served his country. I think he's more than qualified. But what Trump is doing right now is he is picking smart people. He is picking loyalists, and he used to pick in his first term people who, or maybe in the party, who were part of the establishment, who people suggested that he pick because he's the president. He came from outside of politics. And so we took their advice, and that was disastrous. And we got the Russia collusion hoax and the Hunter Biden laptop cover up and every horrible thing that ensued under the Biden admin and under Trump's first term. Now he's gone a different direction. He is picking strong people. He is picking Trump loyalists, and it has gone really well for him, I think, so far. You're seeing his agenda be carried out. And for the first time, instead of each of the agencies being their own little fiefdoms and the presidency being essentially a figurehead that is run by the deep state, that's what Joe Biden was, that's what Kamala Harris would have been. You have all these agencies looking to Trump. What does Trump want? What actions does he want me to take? Certainly, that's my dad's perspective. He's the Secretary of Transportation. What is he thinking all the time? He's using his best judgment, but he's also thinking, what does President Trump want? And I think that's what the American people wanted when they elected President Trump.
I think you're exactly right, and that's what we're going to be seeing a lot more of. Kash Patel, by the way, made it through the committee hearing, so his vote comes up next week. We've got a lot more coming back.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
Oh, it's awful, huh?
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com. Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-581-1414. That's 800-581-1414. Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Dan Bongino. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Construction delays on the outer loop of Beltway between the GW Parkway and the Georgetown Pike. Crossing southbound and northbound 95 in Virginia, you're going to back up through Lorton. And over in the district, southbound 395, your backup is between the 3rd Street Tunnel and the 14th Street Bridge due to road work. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, increasing clouds with a low around 28. Tomorrow, a wintry mist and then rain, highs near 42.
LifeLock, during tax season, your sensitive info does a lot of traveling to places you can't control, stopping off at payroll, your accountant or a tax preparer, and countless other data centers on its way to the IRS. Any of them can expose you to identity theft because they all have the info in your W-2. Just a ticket for criminals to steal your identity. I had my identity stolen. It was horrible. I got LifeLock. I've been a customer ever since. I've never, ever had that problem again. No wonder the IRS reported tax fraud due to identity theft went up 20% last year. Get LifeLock today. Don't get your identity stolen. They monitor millions of data points per second and alert you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, backed by the $1 million protection package. Restoration's guaranteed or your money back. Don't mess around with this stuff. I dealt with this for a long time before I had LifeLock. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Get LifeLock protection for tax season and beyond. Join now, save up to 40% for your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock, use promo code Bongino, or go to LifeLock.com/Bongino for 40% off. Terms apply. Do it today.
For a local news source you can trust, visit WMAL.com.
Thank you for that.
Get the day's top stories, stream your favorite WMAL shows, access our podcast archives, and more. WMAL.com, making sense of your world online.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Former U.S. Navy SEAL Sean Ryan captures real stories about sacrifice and strength.
My biggest fear was death. My biggest fear was nobody will remember me.
That motivates a lot of people.
Just made me feel invincible.
Open the steel doors. They were all convinced, I think, that they were about to die.
This rush and stress comes over me because now it's so tough.
All of a sudden, they're saying, what is really important? Let us reveal the truth of ourselves. That's it.
The Sean Ryan Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
YouTube personality Benny Johnson has cracked the code on a new era of newsmaking.
Very strong. Very fearlessly fighting for nobody.
It's a new cultural landscape.
You're from now. It's your country, bro.
It's the Benny Show.
Hey, if this is something that you needed, just put a little tap in your step.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
WMAL, making sense of social media because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Any questions? Call 844-4-the-USA to get the answers. 844-484-3872. The Dan Bongino Show.
Yeah, give us a call if you want to. We'll treat it like an open line Friday. It's Jim and Avita in for Dan. We've been talking about J.D. Vance telling Europe to get its act together and stop letting Western civilization die on the vine. One of the guys, and he's a good friend of the show, Mike Benz, has been addressing this for a long time. And, the freak out on this USAID, Avita, it seems irrational. And you can tell that it must be a major Democrat progressive organization that helps them with all their causes in being maybe a money laundering operation or a slush fund. And the way they've acted about this getting shut down, it's totally irrational. It's ridiculous. But Benz hits it. He exposed, I don't know if you caught the Rogan podcast with Mike and Joe Rogan, and there was a Mike and Tucker interview too that I listened to actually twice because he exposed this whole organization, basically saying that if the CIA doesn't want to do it, if it's too dirty for them, they just move it off to USAID. Now, that's an organization that needs to be shut down completely. There's no, we'll leave a little bit of this here and a little bit there, or there's an aid component to it. I mean, I don't think you can have an organization undermining United States policies, foreign and domestically, in existence.
Well, Jim, I think what Mike Benz so perfectly articulated was that we've been doing a lot of dirty tricks abroad. We've been meddling in other people's elections. We've been staging regime change operations. And yes, they've been using USAID, which is essentially the CIA's slush fund. And it's been entirely wasteful, right? We're funding atheism in Nepal and transgender operas in South America, ridiculous, but also very nefarious in that you're again staging regime change and various other meddling in foreign elections. What Mike Pence articulated is that those same tactics have been weaponized here at home against the American people. So, for instance, the censorship efforts, right, this labeling of free speech as actually susceptible to disinformation has now been brought here to the United States. And you are seeing the emergence of a censorship industrial complex, which makes up fact checkers, disinformation experts, they'll call themselves, pro-democracy, and that's in quotes, pro-democracy NGOs, and they all rise up to annihilate the First Amendment in collaboration or even created by the federal government. What Trump is doing is dismantling that entire network, and Mike Pence at the same time is exposing it for all of us to see.
Let's take a listen to a little bit of that interview with Joe Rogan, where he talks about the censorship industrial complex.
Just the first two entries from this. What can technology companies do? So this is USAID telling Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, eliminate the financial incentives, nuke their ad revenue if we don't like what they say. What could national governments do? Again, this is our government funded by our tax dollars telling foreign governments that they should regulate ad networks to kill the ad revenue of U.S. social media websites and U.S. news entities, like has been caught up in the advertiser database at state and USAID under the Biden administration. And there's a million more examples like this.
Now, the thing about places like Facebook, who are now having, I don't know if it's believable. Again, we're a very practical show. We're a results-oriented show. We want to see results. We don't want to just hear talk. Zuckerberg says that's not going to happen anymore. I'm not sure I've seen evidence of that yet. I still think there's probably a bit of censorship going on, but I think they're starting to turn a little bit, and I'm hoping that that's the case. But there's still a long way to go, and you have to get other countries to participate as well as it just being us. And I'm hoping they see us as an example to make changes to their own internal structures.
And what's important to understand, Jim, about social media companies is that they don't have the same kind of protections that a newspaper does, that a radio show would, like we do. These social media companies are essentially at the mercy of whatever administration is in power at that time. So under the Biden admin, they were doing all these censorship projects at the behest of the federal government. In some cases, directly censoring Americans who would say a joke on Twitter about Joe Biden. It got that extreme, and they had direct lines at Facebook to.
I got something I'm going to talk about in a minute.
As well as their government-created NGOs that were also committed to censorship. Now you're seeing the social media companies embrace free expression and exactly what social media should be, just being a neutral platform because of the Trump admin. What we need, Jim, is protections for social media companies so that when the next administration comes around, these social media companies have the ability to make themselves a platform irrespective of whatever the aims are of said admin. We need them to have the same kind of constitutional protection that the press has.
Well, not only do they need to have the protections, but they also have to have the accountability. Because as we know, if you give somebody protection from something, power will be abused in that way. Because it's just the natural instinct is when you get some type of a power, you're going to take advantage of that power in one way or another. The way they want to talk about this misinformation, and they keep trying to push this climate nonsense on us. And it's now starting to break apart for them as well. People aren't buying it. It's low on everybody's radar as far as an issue. First of all their predictions are not coming true. And now they're going to do the Alinsky thing and pick a target and freeze it, which they're trying to do with Elon Musk. But like J.D. Vance addressed in that speech as well, he talked about how Greta Thunberg was the spokesperson on everything, and she had to be listened to. Well, now that Elon Musk is doing something, maybe you can listen to him.
And expressing opinions isn't election interference. Even when people express views outside your own country, and even when those people are very influential. And trust me, I say this with all humor. If American democracy can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg scolding, you guys can survive a few months of Elon Musk. But what no democracy, American, German, or European, will survive is telling millions of voters that their thoughts and concerns, their aspirations, their pleas for relief are invalid or unworthy of even being considered.
And see, that's it. And he's telling these people, you can't shut your people up anymore. They have to be listened to. Anytime you shut an idea down, then you're not giving anybody a chance to advance something. You're not trying to find something. You're not trying to mine something that could be a good idea. You're just letting it die, basically, because you just don't want to hear it because it doesn't go with the status quo or the way you think things should go. Listen to somebody else. Be open to other people. And that's just not happening. And now we have this guy going across the ocean, and he's telling these people, you have to let this happen. You had this 19-year-old high school dropout telling the world that it was going to die. Then you have one of the smartest people in the world who is trying to let you know that ideas come from everywhere and people should be free to share their thoughts. But you're telling him he's a moron. None of this makes sense, and it drives me crazy.
And I love that he brought up the Cold War. I mean, I don't know about you. I thought the Cold War was that we're all not going to become Soviet Russia, right? We're not going to be the Soviet Union. We're going to be a free a country, a place that is informed by our founding documents, and we're going to win that ideological battle. And instead, it seems like, okay, we won the Cold War, and now we're going to adopt Orwellian Soviet-style censorship efforts. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It makes you think, like, what did we do all that for? What was the point of tear down that wall from Ronald Reagan? Like, why were we doing this? And it's such a slap in the face, I think, to so many people who have sacrificed for this country, who have said, I believe in America. I'm going to serve. I'm going to potentially put my life on the line, and some even died. And suddenly now we're seeing our leaders at home, but just in the West in general, embrace, really, like I said, Orwellian censorship efforts. And J.D. Vance just called them out so beautifully to their faces. And I hope that regular Europeans were listening to that and will start to hold their leaders accountable. We'll use this revolution that we're seeing in the United States as a signal that they can have that too. They can embrace nationalism. They can embrace freedom. Perhaps everybody in all these countries needs a First Amendment. I think common law has proven itself to be a failure in the UK, where we just accept that we have free speech. No, that doesn't work. You need it codified. You need to have it concrete and part of your founding mythos. Otherwise, it gets taken away.
And you're doing it. He's doing it in a country that less than 40 years ago was completely divided. I mean, if there was ever a stark example on the planet of the difference between a free society and a communist socialist society, it was East and West Germany. And it's like this should be in their recent memories of what it was like. There's a great movie, I don't know if you've seen it, highly recommend it, called The Lives of Others. And it was basically about the Stasi in the East German state and how they monitored everything. Your apartment was bugged. Wherever you went to go eat was bugged. They knew exactly what you were doing. And if you were doing anything against the government, they were going to try and get you. Orwell wrote about this in 1984. Well, it was true in East Germany with the Stasi. So you had a living example. You have people still alive that experienced all that.
Orwell.
And then they're willing now to be able to fall again under these rules. And not only just in Germany.
That was a big read when I was in the Navy. But George Orwell.
And I don't understand the people who are supposed to enforce laws. They sign up because they want a better country. They want a peaceful country. That's why they call them peace officers. Basically, police officers are also peace officers. How these people
don't really care, Owls. I really don't care. When the commercial comes on, I got something that's really gonna get underneath Wiggins' skin.
Laws, well, I guess they are real laws
what?
That shut people up.
Motherfucker wants to fucking go heads up with me. They're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I have been doing it. He's a fucking crybaby. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now. Let me turn this fucker down. All right. Wiggin says, I'm gonna call you son because you're younger than me. Well, you better call her daughter. You're fucking your daughter. You're paying your daughter to be a whore. She's 30 years younger than you are. She's more like your grandchild. Wingin's fucking his grandchild. How come you don't call her daughter since she's younger than you? Huh? Call me son. JC does the same shit. I'm older than JC. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. You guys are so afraid to really be yourselves. Right, again, are you going to call me son because I'm younger than you by 4 years, maybe? I don't think you're that old. I really don't. You look a lot older than what you really are, I think. Yeah, you guys over there about the Ukraine and all that shit. Not one word about Biden stopping the war. Trump said he's going to stop it in one day. Yeah, Wiggin. I ain't your son, Wiggin. We ain't related. And you got little Charlie out there trying to do your dirty work for you. I'm owls, watch me make Billy mad. Trump simps for Putin. Jarl's my boss. I do what Jarl does. I'm a clapping seal. Oh, Jarl! Come on, boy. Come on, you fuckers. You guys ain't gonna do it. But there's the lake. Go ahead. Come on, you chicken fucks. Because that's what you guys are, a bunch of chicken fucks. Vader's live, right? I know everybody's addresses. Oh, under JT up on Vader's panel. Yeah, the romper room is in session, everybody. Romper room is in session. Visa, CB. Look at all the fucking malcontents and miscreants in Vader's chat. And get him, Angie. Angie stood up for Vader. Hail Vader. Oh, is his friend, and look what he did to. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. And Angie knows it. It's just I'm too old for Angie. Angie needs a man closer to her age. She certainly doesn't need a man like fucking Vader. Vader can't do anything for a woman. He lives at home with his father. A woman wants security in a man. When she sees a man, she wants to be secure. There's no security there. So Angie makes one post. So all the degenerates, all 9 of them, well, except for me, because I'm there now, and I'm not going to post in his chat. So how about it, Wiggin? Quit being a hypocrite. If you're going to call me son because I'm younger than you, why don't you call her daughter? daughter. All for a YouTube show. I gave you a view, Vader. I won't be back, though. Bought a Wiggin. You're gonna kick me off the internet? Belly, just leave, Belly. Yeah, that'd be convenient for you if I just quit, wouldn't it? You guys do that all the time. All the time. Siberian Gal Pal, I'm on to you too, lady. I know what you're doing. You're exactly what Wiggin accuses me of. Wiggin, he thinks he's got to fight with everybody in YouTube. But he wanted me to go. He said I was afraid of Shannon. He wanted me to go fight Shannon when he was doing that shit. I don't go to VB's chat. I don't go to Q's chat. Them other ones, I don't go to JT's chat. He says I attack it. He's the one fucking out there trolling everybody. I'm not trolling these fuckers. He's scared. Billy, Charlie. You say stupid shit. Erase your comment. This ain't Romper Room. Vader is live. If that's what you want, Vader is live right now. Do you know his address? I can post it for you. There it is. That boy's live. Here, I'll even fucking put it up on the fucking screen. There. Vader's live. Right there is his address. Go visit him. Turn this back up. They're going to say something important. Commercial. Owls, I do know who you are. I do know who you are. It's not hard to figure out. I've been here so long and see people talking back. You guys think you got me blocked when I'm watching? A lot of times I don't say shit. They just make a mental note of it. How about you there, Maria Lubopina? Huh? I see you still have my mother's picture on your fucking page there. She's a pretty lady. My mother was fucking, all the men in school wanted her. My father was fullback for a Governor football team. Yeah, my dad had a scholarship to go to fucking college on a football scholarship. He's pretty smart too. You don't become a construction superintendent without knowing geometry. You have to know geometry. You have to know math. You fucking idiots. Hey, Wiggin, if you're 5 years older than me, 68, right? You should have kids in their 40s. Bragging about all the kids you got. Yeah, they don't care. I think I've unblocked everybody. When I block you, that allows me to identify who you are. Because, once you see, well, Billy blocked me, you're going to come in with a different account. And I see who you're talking to. Wiggin, using my word, you guys, grab ass is the name of the game. That's what you guys play, grab ass. Grabbing each other's asses all the time. You don't see me doing it. That's right. Ricky wants to call me son because I'm younger than him. By 5 years, if I'm to believe he was born in 57, 4 years, actually. Same age as my sister, JC. That means you got to call daughter the truth, your daughter. You think I'm your son? Wiggins the one that can't take a joke. Yeah, I made him laugh with that fucking account that I made. Yeah. Gay Ronald McDonald. That's what you are, Wiggin. And then you shut your fucking side chat. And you're doing a happy Valentine's Day to your sweetheart you go live at fucking midnight. Late at night. Middle of the morning, and you talk about JT when he streams. Because he doesn't stream in the morning or in the afternoon. Me, I go live any fucking time of day. He's typical submarine sailor. You never know when I'm going to fucking pop up. I've learned from the best, Wiggin. How about you? You're not very smart with women. JT came here. JT wouldn't be noticed right now if he didn't come to my chat. They had to come into this chat. I knew they were using me, but that's okay. That's why I'm here. I inspire people. I influence people. That's why he's mad at me, because I have a power of persuasion that he doesn't have. I'm not a backstabber. I'm not a buddy fucker. He is. You know what would piss Wiggin off the most? Wolfie come into my chat. I let her up on the panel, let her rant and rave. I say she come in, and I'd let her bitch about Wiggin and that. And then I had to do what I do just to get everybody else going. Yeah, I have to deal with Rusty. Rusty constantly in Wolfie's ear, because Rusty wants this. Rusty knows I'm the real deal. Rusty knows if I were her fucking neighbor, she probably wouldn't act like that to me face to face. It's easy to be an ignorant fuck out here. It's fucking worse than the liquid courage. Because you really can't do. What are you going to do to somebody? Report them? Especially a side chatter. Says side chatters don't matter, then why'd you turn your side chat off? People come in there to troll you. You can't take it, Wiggin. You talk about me. You expect me to attack your chat. I already did. It only takes one. When you're a submarine sailor like me, it only takes one fucking shot. I won't shoot over the bow. Like what Tiffany claims, Mina, it's a shot over the bow. Oh, Mina blocked me, and then she's talking behind my... These fuckers, your friends do it all the time. Monica. Angie's the only one. Angie quit blocking me. She'll block me if I fucking come at her hard. That's when she blocks me. Angie doesn't block me. She knows I wasn't being racist. Calling her name. She knows it's all joking because they talk their shit. It's fucking hypocritical. White is a color, therefore I'm a person of color. That's a fact. I deal in facts. Wiggins worried about what guy's sticking his dick somewhere, saying, "Oh, you're jealous because I got pussy." I could order a girl and have her come here. Easy. How you know I haven't? Not gonna fucking show you.
Championship game. At least one person was arrested today.
No, JT's fair game. JT's a punk motherfucker. He's not even a rookie yet. He's got a long ways to go. Everything he's doing, He's getting help from Rusty and Gotti. And Rain lied to me about her parents being dead. Shouldn't have done that, Rain. Because I lost all respect for you. I had respect for you at first. Here comes a couple new people. I didn't know who you were. You guys did that. I'm like, oh, geez, this is going to get Wiggin going. And it did. Hey, Keith says, when you're writing the story of your life, don't let anybody else hold the pen. Fucking idiot you are, Keith. He thinks he is, but he's not what he fucking thinks he's some. I don't know what he thinks he is. We're all Polish. I hate to tell you that. We're all Polacks, every single one of us. Sorry. Adam and Eve are Jewish. We're all Jewish. They're everything. Jewish, Scandinavian, Roman, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Zebra.
Infrastructure replacements for 2040. $400 a month by 2035. Legislation passes.
I had tacos for breakfast and lunch. I even bought some black olives. Put them in my taco. All those different textures. Corn nuts. You got corn nuts. Charlie says he's not going to come when the Jew bastards are playing. You never think that this guy Mark Levin is Jewish. Unless he's, he lets you know he's Jewish. And he's from Philadelphia. The guy was an attorney in the Reagan administration when I was in the Navy. They teach you in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. It's a good idea to know who all your politicians are. Can you name all 535 members of Congress, people who make laws to govern your life? Just because they're not hurting you, you don't care. It's like Jay, Rusty's never attacked me. Rusty's you're a fuckwad. You're a clapping seal, JT. That's all you are. She feeds you fucking little tiny fish, and you go for it. Me and Rain are Mexican Hispanic. Little Raza. You fucking idiots. The second email, I would have just blocked her on my number. You fucking let her go and let her go and let her go. So you can look like a victim. So you can garner sympathy from Hey Girl and Scott Canning and all the others. I got a feeling Mina might not be on your side, Wiggin. That's a crazy fucker right there, Mina. She might be as crazy as I am. And I'm not even Italian. Trying to fucking make me take lithium. Won't do any good. Probably keep me from blinking. Billy, I don't know what you're doing. Billy, you should just quit YouTube. You should just quit, Billy. Oh. I wouldn't doubt your fucking son Boykin. I don't know. Maybe he looks at her and he's like, what the hell is wrong with my father? I bet you she's sagging down in the belly. She's had 4 kids. She looks like a fucking road map down there. I guarantee it. She's very conscious about her fucking abdomen area. She's got a roll there because I can see it. You don't have the prettiest girl on YouTube. You get the highest paid whore in YouTube.
So in the break here, Avita and I are listening to this little debate. They're talking about the reciprocal taxes or tariffs that Trump has proposed to impose on all nations. That if they tariff us at 8%, we tariff them at 8%. If they tariff us at 2%, we tariff them at 2%. The objective behind these reciprocal tariffs is important. We have a deficit. I think we basically
always comes back to the tariffs.
$370 billion in tariffs.
Protects American producers.
A quarter. Can't remember the exact off the top of my head, but the other nations total.
They steal our technology.
So Trump is trying to stop us from being taken advantage of. And here you have this Democrat economist from the last administration, who, by the way, has no degree in economics whatsoever. I think he was a music major. Honestly, I swear to God, that's a true story. And he's telling us, Trump's tariffs can't possibly work. Well, everything that Trump has proposed so far, these people are melting down. You've seen the meltdowns. It's been crazy. They're melting down on the floor of Congress. They're holding these rallies outside of these different buildings. They're trying to commit insurrection, Evita, in some of these buildings. They're trying to break in. And they're losing their minds. But it's the thing is they can't concentrate on one thing to focus on because everything's coming at them at the same time. What are your thoughts on these breakdowns?
Listen, Jim, they are completely losing their minds. And what's so funny about it is it's not, I think that they're trying to create like a March on Washington, BLM 2.0 movement, and it's not working. It's just a movement of aging Democrat members of Congress and bureaucrats in Washington, like maybe some lobbyists thrown in there. Like no one is on board with this. No regular people are in the streets going up to the Treasury building or any other agency and demand that they get let in. And Elon Musk, he's trying to steal our Social Security checks. That's what I'm sorry. Elon Musk is worth billions of dollars. I promise you guys, he's not interested in stealing anyone's Social Security checks. But the left they've devolved into these lies about Elon Musk, the fear mongering, that he's not transparent. They're taking to the streets. And it's not catching on. I'm not seeing any young people or any Americans in general rallying around more non-transparency and transgender surgeries. Like nobody's excited about this. It has not become a movement.
No, it hasn't become a movement at all. And it doesn't seem like they've learned anything from the election. They haven't learned anything at all. Here was Eric Daughtry tweet from yesterday. Kamala Harris leads the latest 2028 Democratic presidential primary poll by 26 points. Kamala Harris, she just got smoked, like really, really bad. They lost 2,700 counties with Kamala Harris as their candidate. And they have no leadership anywhere. There's nobody to look to say that's the next person that's going to be leading us. They have no ideas. Here's Ayanna Pressley. This is the Democrats. This is how they think we're going to win back the narrative by pushing reparations.
We can legislate justice.
Amen.
We can legislate healing. And we're certainly long overdue. And for those that would say we need to just get over it, that's interesting. When as a nation, you are benefiting right now from an economy that was built on the brutalized backs and the indignities and the horrors of chattel slavery and our African ancestors.
I mean, it's just amazing. We're still talking about slavery again. Meanwhile, what they're trying to do is import all these people into the country to basically work for slave wages. That's okay, but they need reparations.
And replace native-born Americans too. I mean, this is not a racial issue. This is bad for Black Americans and Brown Americans, and it's just bad for Americans. And you're right; they are importing people to work for slave wages. And Jim, what's fascinating about them falling back on reparations is you'd think that they would get smart, that the race Marxism doesn't work. It doesn't energize a people who, frankly, Blacks are the minority in this country, right? They are not the majority. So if you want to have a communist revolution, might as well try some regular Marxism, right? Some old fashioned working class. And it'd be terrible for America. It'd be awful. And I don't want to give them any free advice, but I'm just saying, if they were smart, they would they drop the race Marxism. They do some genuine redistribution. They get all the working class, the whites, the Blacks, the Browns. We're all in this together. Instead, they are stuck on this issue of race. They are stuck on DEI. They are stuck on identity politics and everything that America hates about the modern left. And at the same time that they're calling for reparations, which nobody asks for or wants for, Donald Trump is dismantling DEI in the federal government, and the whole world is cheering.
Absolutely. And the thing is they can't get a foothold on this. They just don't understand. This is what they are bragging about. They're doing on their X feed what Democrats did today, and then they do this by date. So let's see how they're doing. Every single Democrat voted against confirming Tulsi Gabbard as director of national.
Life just keeps getting better every day.
How did that work out for you? Who's the new director of national intelligence, Vita?
Tulsi Gabbard.
Hey, listen, the #1 show on YouTube right now is Mina versus Tammy Holt.
Tapping Prescription Cost Act to tap all out-of-pocket costs on prescription drugs. So price controls.
Here's a little bro cream.
Price controls. How do price controls do when you implement price controls, Evita?
They don't ever go well, Jim. They don't ever go well.
No, they don't. Oh, now we're going to the states. They have no successes at the federal level. So let's go to the states. Arkansas Senate Democrats successfully voted down a bill to allow municipalities to remove fluoride from their water system.
And I got Wiggin in here telling me what comments to post and shit. Wiggin, fuck you, Jaro.
America with the fluoride. I mean, it's Jim. It's
fuck
so
you.
Bad. It is so.
I will fight you every step now.
You almost feel bad.
You're not gonna get any fucking no quarter here, boy.
Chanting outside these buildings.
I gave you your fucking last chance.
And what's interesting, Jim, is actually I've been seeing a lot of TikToks.
Kiss my ass, Wiggin.
Movement, especially.
But shove that ring right up your ass.
We're angry at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and they said we're not going to vote for Joe Biden. We're not going to vote for Genocide Joe, and they said we're not going to vote for Kamala Harris. And the more
fuck you, Wiggin,
liberals, the more
and your girlfriend.
The more establishment Democrats are really angry at the left wingers in their movement because they blame them for Trump winning. And these left wingers on TikTok, these like true believers, they are doubling down. Like I'm still glad I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Like basically, they're saying the Democrats need to shape up or we're done. Like we're going third party. We'll let the Republicans continue to win election after election until you guys figure your stuff out. And I think that that's a real sign that young people in the left are willing to have President Trump over an ineffectual left wing. And I hope that they stay as ineffectual and out of touch as they are, Jim. It's great for us.
I think you made a good point earlier, too, when you talked about losing basically the coalition of all these people that they had because they concentrated so hard on division all the way going back to Barack Obama because the Democrat Party used to be the big coalition. Republicans had a hard time breaking into that. You know, even if technically they had people that were diverse within the party, they were never recognized as that. It was the old rich white guy party always, and they couldn't shake that narrative. They couldn't shake that image. And you had the blue collar people people from all over America that were actual Democrats. When Barack Obama took over, he started this whole division thing, and Joe Biden went after him on steroids in Obama's third term. Yes, I said it. Yes, Obama's third term. That he basically, it crushed the coalition that they had. Everybody saw themselves as a splintered group. And then they turned on each other, and it was like Dan's cannibalism theory. They started to eat each other up. You know, I write about that. That's in my book. If you want to pick it up, read it. It's the cannibalism theory. It's a description.
You know, Angie takes it pretty good. At least she's not like Tammy. All right. You got acid trip out there fucking ringing on her about, using my words, because I'm the one who called Angie a deadbeat mom. All right. Now maybe it's inspired her. We don't know Angie's position in life. Obviously, she doesn't have a lot of money. Obviously, she doesn't have a man taking care of her. I'm a firm every woman should, the Bible says, men cherish your wives and wives obey your husband. Even Angie deserves to have somebody in her life for her security because she's a woman. Now, I can admit, it could be wrong, whatever her situation is with her son, all right, and she chooses to do what she, it's called, because they come after me. I only went after her because of what Randy and JC and the others did with me. Doesn't give you the right, Alpesh Patel, because obviously you don't have a life. You don't have anybody coming and visiting you. You're not going to your mother's house or anything like that. You don't have a stream or, Angie, she gets to choose her own friends, right? So Monica's her friend, JC's her friend, the others. Yeah, she's, all hail Vader, and then look what's going on there. I wouldn't do that to Angie. She knows I wouldn't. If Angie confided in me and I wouldn't use it against her. She knows that. That's what you guys do. And you got Wiggin. He's wishy-washy. Actually thinks I'm jealous he has Alicia. Sorry, Wiggin. My wife if you look at Gina Loda Brigida, that's what Terry looked like. She looked similar in the face as Gina Lola Brigida, she was a very attractive actress back in the day. Another Barbara Eden. Jesus. Wiggin thinks I'm gonna call me son because I'm younger than him. Wiggin, bring your DD-214 up here. Wiggin. Now here's a new person. I think I've seen you before. Hello.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Good.
What brings you here?
Just kind of. I didn't remember if I've ever been here before, and I just kind of like meeting people and seeing what's up.
You're a YouTuber, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
yeah,
you could call. I'm not really a YouTuber, but I do YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, well, we're YouTubers. Well, nice to
meet
you.
I got my StreamYard back. I got my StreamYard back today, actually. I think.
You've been doing shit? You got struck or something, or what?
No, I just didn't pay for it, so I get like the 20 hours free.
Yeah. So Isaac, Spirit Man.
Yeah.
So what's up? What's the good word?
Oh man. My life story is crazy. I wish I had a good word.
Let me check. What do you got behind you? Is that it's cool.
Yeah, it's like a dude with a light beam and a pyramid. I don't know.
Hey, you know, have you ever been to the Sistine Chapel where Michelangelo painted on the ceiling where, you know, here's God's finger and then here's
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, you know, reach out and touch God, right?
There's that connection too, that spark in between, that
Right.
pull.
You know, and
It's that
you
we're
know,
this close, but
you
we
see what
can't
they did
really
with
see.
you see what they did with Pete Hegseth, you know, and he was on Fox and Friends on, you know, he's a military veteran. The tattoo he has is the floor where you walk into the Church of the Presidents in Washington, D.C., the one they set on fire. That's an image in the floor, and you know it's marble.
Wow.
You know, so you know it's the Jewish cross. Whatever. I've never seen it, so I don't know exactly what it looks like.
Same.
You know? And I'm not Jewish.
Same. Well, I think kind of. Well,
So you know all the tricks on the computer. You got your background going there. See, I'm not doing the fancy stuff. Yeah,
it's really
I got
easy. It's just a setting on StreamYard. You just go to settings and you can do it with any background. You don't
right.
have to have a green screen. Yeah.
I've been looking at it, playing with it a little bit. I know how to disable my chat now because Wiggin does that shit.
I don't even know how to do
You
that.
do you know Wiggin? You know who Jarl Wiggin is? You know who I'm talking about?
Possibly the face. I don't remember the name.
All right, so do you know who Q45 is? Because you're probably his generation. You look pretty young.
Q45. Nah, I don't think I've come across the Q.
You know, they're on other social platforms. You know, what is when JC used to go to Discord? I never went there. You know, so it's basically having a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to post my link. My name. I'll type in chat. My name. My channel's the exact same name as my name.
Yeah, you just type it. You don't need to post a link to it if you.
Sorry for the bizarre name. It's a little out there.
That's fine. No, that's fine. Why I'm
Some
here.
people get tripped out on it. They'd be like, "You can't call yourself that." I'm like, "You don't understand why I do it. There's a deeper reason." I'm not calling myself the Messiah. Just saying Christ is how I associate myself with, like a last name. But so I see it. Like we're born into his family, so that's now my name.
It's the principle of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
You
like
don't, you
the
don't have to
mindset.
believe he's the Son of God or that is God. Okay, I'm agnostic, and agnostic. You can be agnostic and still have faith that there's a God. An agnostic it's impossible for any of us to know whether or not God exists.
Yeah, I mean, on some level,
that's what agnostic is.
Evidence-wise, it is impossible to prove it, but experiential-wise, you can experience things
life's biggest
outside of
mystery. Where did man come from? It's since I
right?
was born, long before I came along.
Yeah,
I just
it's an amazing
63.
concept. Like our bodies are like these magnetic quantum computers with a vehicle.
We're the most sophisticated. Hey, they started the thing with the AI, and there's a few people out here that use it. The voice change, and they've been working out well. So I come up with a name. I'm absolute intelligence, AI.
Yeah. No,
that's
where they got it from. They got it from me.
That's why Wiggin got mad at me, because I come up with names and I make clones and shit. That's the name of the game, making clones and sock accounts. And they get mad at me because I'm the best at it. I guess
if you like to do it.
They just want to call me a potato peeler.
I don't know. There's a bunch of different paths in this dimension, I guess.
So how about this guy JT? Do you know this guy JT? Have you been to his chat?
Who's that in chat?
Well, he right now he's a streamer, and he's been teamed up with a couple of other people, and
I don't think so.
I know I'll tell you what. I'll give you his address, and you can check him out. How's that sound? I'll
Sure.
post it.
No worries.
I'll post it in chat.
Cool. I gotta open up YouTube to get the link. Maybe I could copy it actually.
Because
Yeah,
I don't.
copy it.
Yeah, you can just copy it. Is I don't really post a lot of links. You know, I don't. All right. But now he has another account, 0001. So you type in JT-0001 or 0002, and those are his two accounts. He has two of them.
All right. Let me see if I can find.
Pretty simple. I don't know
Yeah,
if he's
check out
live. I don't know if he's
some
live
communities.
now. But,
yeah, that's awesome. Let me see.
My mission is I'm the Don Rickles of YouTube chat. You know who
Is
Don
this
Rickles?
picture like a werewolf?
He has a werewolf, and he has another one where I don't know. I guess it's his face. He's got some pretty big lips. They like to make
live.
They like to make fun of people. That's their gig. They like to make fun of people. They like to dox.
And maybe I don't want to go there.
Yeah, you know, I let you be aware.
We'll see. I'll have to check it out.
They'll ask you 50 questions. He thinks he's a psychiatrist.
Oh, it's like a.
Yeah,
I see.
He's running a psychiatry stream because we're all
I'm more of a psychologist.
Yeah.
More of a spiritual mind reader.
Now I'm a big supporter of our military. Have to be. We got to protect our way of life. They're trying to change our constitution. I mean, we've been on those fires were set in California.
Yeah.
They've attacked they've attacked our electrical grids in a couple places. Right? The
water
Antifa
supply
stuff over. Are you in Washington State?
No, I'm in California.
Okay, well, you're close. So you know about the riots and shit that goes on.
No, I haven't heard yet.
No.
They haven't shared it with me. Nothing popped up on my computer to tell me about it. And I don't watch TV, so.
Yeah, well, I pay attention to what's going on. Mostly I listen to talk radio. That's the best news. That's the best news source is talk radio.
So they're having riots for something about the presidency or what?
Immigration. You haven't been following the immigration issue?
Oh, I heard about those. I just didn't know where they were at. I heard about that. Yeah, I have heard. Wow. Yeah.
No.
I didn't know where. I just didn't know.
So you don't know the name Kate Steinle or Laken Riley or
I stick to faith in God. I stick to the where I'm at, my surroundings. I don't go too crazy and try to overwhelm my mind with what's happening in the world when there's nothing I could do about it. So, unless there's something I could do about it, then I'll think about it. Then I'll look into it. But if there's nothing I can do about it, it's just going to add worry to me or something.
Well, if you could do something about what's going on in the world, what would you do?
Exactly. What would I do? I think about it all the time. What would I do? I don't know. I think about it a lot. Like
you look a lot like Drew.
Drewski?
Drew Oxier?
Oh, I know a different Drew. Maybe with my glasses kind of cover my face. There we go. I got an Amish beard going. I shaved this part. It's kind of Amish.
You're kind of Amish. Hey,
that's what everyone says. No, I don't mind either.
Yeah, I've been thinking for a long time. Find me an Amish woman, settle down somewhere.
Yeah, dude, I'd be sick. Live a simple life.
Have a pig or two.
It depends, Some people at some point want to transition in their life and just live simply.
I'd be growing marijuana plants. Oh, I already do that.
Yeah. I'd be growing mushrooms. What?
Oh, you're another Kevin from LBC.
I love magical mushrooms. My favorite thing. I believe it makes me. It allows my brain to more clearly perceive reality with God. Even I would go to that extent, as it makes me be drawn.
Spend any time in Vegas chat?
Time in Vegas?
Yeah. Do you go to Vegas chat?
No.
What chats do you hang out in?
Oh, I thought you were asking chat if they go to Vegas. My bad.
Yeah, there's a Vegas chat. Do you go there?
No, now I know. I thought you were talking to chat. Now I know what you mean. No, I don't. I try to search for these streams, but they don't always pop up. So
all
it's
you
like,
gotta do is hit your live feed, and they're right there.
yeah, I usually search StreamYard and I'll hit live, but it doesn't show all of them. Not always, because I be searching like
So what
twice,
chat
3
do
times.
you hang out then?
Oh, I hang out on my own. Mike Buddha, Light Buddha Mike.
Never heard of
LC.
it. Never heard of it.
Yeah, LC. We just get hammered and we drink and we talk shit, but I don't even like doing that. It's just kind of where I drink. If I'm going to drink, I go to
Do you
LC.
hang out in that Venice Beach chat?
No.
You know what I'm
I
talking
don't hang
about?
out in any chats. I don't hang out in any chats. I only go on panels.
You only go on panels.
Yeah, I don't go on chat. I don't like to type. I'd rather just speak.
Whose panel have you been on?
I go like LC's Light Buddha Mike is my number 1 and 2. I don't have that many.
Nobody. I've never heard anybody talk about those chats.
Yeah, LC is like if you're going to the bar on Friday nights and you want to talk bullshit, you could go there. You're not gonna get like crazy informational, like neurological pumping.
So how'd you hear about this chat? What brings you here?
Oh, I was just searching on YouTube to see who was live and found you.
I was in there?
Yeah, well, I type in StreamYard and I hit live filter and then I just scroll through and see if is there anyone you want to talk to? Can I get some perspective on live? Yeah. Are they, I like humans and my favorite subject is the mind.
So what about a guy who wears a hat that says math on it? Do you know him?
No. But I don't know. Like the most coolest thing in the world to me is the human mind. And I have a long story about how I almost mastered it and had an accident happen. And I lost my brain ability through an accident. And now I'm trying to get it back. And I feel like 10% of who I used to be. And I used to be like a neurologically firing agent. I trained my brain on psychedelics.
So what's the accident? Did you eat too many mushrooms?
No, I had a coma, and then I went to I had a coma, a skateboarding injury, and then I went to brain treatment, and the brain treatment made me worse. The coma didn't fuck me up.
Hey,
the brain treatment
I
fucked
had
me
a
up.
skateboard when I was a kid, and after the first time I come flying off that, I never got on another one.
I was an adrenaline
I would
junkie.
go down the hill on it. Anyways, my radio program's back on. This is pretty much a political chat, current events. That's why I'm here. Yeah,
Cool.
I listen to the radio, so I'm going to turn this up so I can hear what's going on.
Sounds good.
I think we need to delete entire agencies as opposed to leave
Elon Musk.
Leave part of them behind. It's easy. It's kind of like if they're leaving a weed. If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back. But if you remove the roots of the weed, it doesn't stop weed from ever growing back, but it makes it harder. So we have to really delete entire agencies, many of them.
Now, if you're spending $7 trillion and he's showing you, bringing the receipts of all the bad things that these players are doing, he's absolutely right. But they just can't seem to handle it. They don't want any of their toys taken away. And
no, Jan. Well, it's incredible, and he's making a great point, and he's making a terrifying point to them because it's not just that we're defunding them.
Thanks for coming up, Mr. Spirit. We'll see you again.
We're going to just destroy these agencies and never bring them back. And that, I think, is something that needs to happen. A lot of these agencies, Jim, they're unconstitutional. They shouldn't even be here. They are engaged in explicitly illegal activity. For example, CISA, a subsidiary of DHS, where the director said, my job here is not to protect the cognitive, the physical infrastructure of this country, but to protect the cognitive infrastructure, meaning like my job is to control your minds. That agency, done, you're gone. Like there are so many of these departments that are, again, engaging in explicitly illegal, unconstitutional behavior. that never should have existed in the first place and need to go.
And the Democrats are always on the wrong side of this. Here, 14 states sue to block Doge from uncovering government abuses and slashing waste. Well, how could you be against? This is why they're losing so bad. How can you be against uncovering government abuses and slashing waste? I found, you may have heard this earlier in the week. You know, I do my little dark web stuff.
I met somebody new.
From somebody who's probably...
He probably already knew me. That's all right. Young guy.
PBS. Hopefully that's...
You got to give the young people their due. JT, you're a punk.
They're trying to appeal to their base, the Democrats, and they've got a brand new show for children.
You got your start here, JT. You came here first, boy. You can't take that away. You can't lie about that. Show my mother all you want. You came here. Scotty brought you here, thinking they're going to pull one over on me because Rusty needs me. Rusty needs Billy Hayden. That's a fact. She didn't. She wouldn't even fucking put my picture up on her page. These fucking people. That's basically a riot. Democrats can't get into fucking Schumer. Chuck Schumer. Viola Presley, fuck Trump. Congresswoman from Massachusetts. Ignorant. Funny as hell.
I'm sure you're gonna have your younger brothers and sisters.
This is fucking funny as hell.
Listen, Jim, that was an amazing parody edit. That was incredible. Congratulations, Jim. You are a wizard. With
Foster Brooks and Don Rickles were the greatest.
They're outside these buildings and they're screeching and they're crying.
Seriously.
It's not driving a movement. I will say.
I mean, there's a lot on that list. There's another one that Rich Little.
It's good. It's good. It's good. I will give.
Where's the next Rich Little?
It was a cashy team.
So this is the problem with the left is they don't have.
You can mimic anybody's voice.
You know,
that fucking guy was that good.
Down over what Elon said the other day, what he called himself. You know, he had.
Hard to do that and keep a grin off your face because you're gonna laugh at yourself, you know.
On Twitter is a certain name, and
I'm glad I grew up in that generation.
Here's the Kara Swisher. I think it was on the Jen Psaki show.
You younger guys just don't know. You really don't. You'll learn though.
Can we get
the
context, Jim? Of can we say the name?
Absolutely.
No?
Sure. Go ahead. You
say it.
It's Harry Bowles. Harry Bowles.
Right. And this is in response to one of the Doge team members getting exposed by one of these corporate journalists for having a pseudonym on X as I believe it was Big Balls was his name. Yes, and they freaked out. They wanted him to get fired.
And we got Johnny Dog Balls. What a fucking stupid name that is.
So Elon Musk, because he's anti-canceling and so is JD Vance, they brought him back, and now Elon Musk is explicitly trolling the media by changing his own profile to Harry Balls.
And, you know, having to have Dana Bash say it on the air, you know, and all these other lefties.
Don't worry about it, Patrick.
And here's why they have no sense of humor. If you
I don't lose my temper.
You probably would be handling all this a lot.
I'm very well-tempered, Patrick.
A lot better. But here they
may look like I'm mad and angry and want me and all right. And they just
which I noted very deadpan earlier this week, which of course, you know, played right into the fact that he wants to make us all laugh like we're 7-year-old boys. I have a young boy, so maybe I get the humor. I guess I'm not going to repeat the HB handle, but talk about that vis-a-vis his personality, Elon's personality.
I think 7-year-old is charitable. I mean, one of the things that he has is he loves dank memes and jokes, and he loves to make jokes himself and then laugh at his own jokes. And then all the people who work for him laugh at him, and therefore he thinks he's funny. And he's not funny. He's sometimes funny, I guess. I never thought so. But he likes to do this. He likes to engage in sort of these juvenile little pranks. And when he's not doing that, he likes to insult people. And all kidding aside, we don't mind being called these names, but it's a 53-year-old man does not do this. I mean, or this one does.
So does this one.
So this guy's 10 years younger than me.
So yeah, what's wrong with that? You know why? Because I have
And he has a 7-year-old boy.
Something-year-old man does do those kind of things because they have to laugh, and they're laughing at you because you've got something just stuck up.
Sincerely ignorant.
If you would just let go.
They call it grab ass. You got your thumb up your ass. I can say it.
Something other than just being locked in a bubble and stuck.
FCC rules don't apply here like there. I'm not in the Actors Guild broadcasting on radio.
And let's talk about the media for a second, just specifically, because the gravy train is gone for them, right? I mean, we just found out that Politico and Reuters and all these different organizations were essentially getting paid by the federal government. Sometimes it was in the form of subscription. Sometimes it was much more explicit and direct, like the BBC, for instance, I guess, was getting funded by our federal government. The gravy train's gone. Trump's shutting it all down. So now's an opportunity for these media
Gravy train.
to say,
That's what my dad used to say to me. The gravy train's over with.
Anymore. Let's be
means
journalists.
fuck out.
Cover this objectively, and they can't, and they won't. And it's shocking to me,
Gravy train.
the fact that the reason they were such political hacks before is now gone. The incentive is gone.
Billy
So
needed
now,
me.
Perhaps they can just do their jobs correctly, and they're not. And instead, they're saying, "Wow, it's really bad that Elon Musk is exposing the corruption that we should have exposed as journalists ages ago."
Right, and the journalists won't do it, and the members of Congress don't want it done because they're trying to basically hide their corruption. They're completely corrupt. And Maxine Waters yesterday said the quiet part out.
This is fucked up.
Take a listen to this.
This is fucked up.
They're not.
This makes me sick, Angie.
Because of, what he's doing.
I hope you don't support this woman, Angie, just because she's black. This is fucking one ignorant fucking person that they're going to play.
No, it's what he's uncovered. Listen to Maxine Waters here as she's talking to Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, and she reveals exactly what they're afraid of.
Would you like to tell us today that you won't let Doge into the Federal Reserve have access to the systems and the data?
So I don't have any, we've had no contact, and I don't really I have nothing for you to report.
Casey,
well, you know what happened?
Shit's hitting the fan.
You know what happened over at the CFPB, and the people of this country are being violated because all of our privacy is being taken up by Elon Musk and Trump, and we don't know what all they have on us, our bank accounts, everything in our lives.
Still don't know what they have on us.
Can you say bent? That fucking woman is bent.
I think that was a Freudian slip there. You know what?
Bye, Maxine Waters. You're going bye-bye. We're getting rid of your fucking dumbass. She needs to go today.
Personal information is being exposed.
Congress needs to expel that woman.
Freudian slip, because what it really sounded like was she was saying, we're going to get exposed. And in fact, Elon Musk and Trump have announced that they are going to go after all these federal employees who have mysteriously high net worths, but are living off of government salaries. Nancy Pelosi, for one, somebody who's making around $200,000 as a member of Congress, but she's worth $240 million. How's that possible, Jim?
I don't know how that's possible, and that's why I think if you listen to that clip, you could hear the hesitation right before she said,
"You're wrong, Patrick. Shut your fucking mouth."
It came out of her mouth, and it. To me, just interpreting people and the way they talk, to me, I understand what you're saying, and you're right. I think that's generally the point that she was trying to make. But I'm telling you,
DOD is subordinate to the fucking the administrative branch of government. You goofy fucker.
And I find it glorious.
Look at some of the generals and the admirals. That fucking Rachel Levine. Those fucking people being in the military. It used to be a time if you answered yes, are you a homosexual? You ain't getting the doctor. You're not going to get in the military. You better, if you're queer, you better not say anything and hope you don't have AIDS when you get tested.
Is, and that's really irresponsible of you. And I hope that they know what they're doing.
Fuck you, Patrick.
And that people like Hillary Clinton are lashing out is because the
go suck Wiggy's dick.
How much has the Clinton Foundation gotten from you?
Don't fuck with me, Patrick Rowe. You're gonna lose.
All the ways that these former and current federal employees have been getting rich off of kickbacks and government grants and insider trade, all of it. We're gonna find out the truth. And you're right, Jim. That's why they're scared.
And they're trying to discount these, like you just said, Hillary Clinton, trying to discount
this guy's the producer of the Dan Bongino radio show. He's the producer.
Describing one of these young guys. Listen to this.
This is Luke Farrader, a 23-year-old kid from Nebraska working with Elon Musk and Doge to cut wasteful government spending. And last year, he was awarded $700,000 for deciphering an ancient scroll using AI. The scroll was damaged during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, and Luke, with a few classmates, used 3D scans and machine learning to virtually uncrumple the scroll and decipher it. This not only caught the attention of the AI community, but Peter Thiel, who awarded Luke $100,000 to become a Thiel Fellow, where young entrepreneurs are encouraged to pursue their passion like the Ethereum founder and Figma founder. But Luke's now been recruited to work at Doge, where the team's been sleeping in the office, crunching code, and working around the clock to identify waste, fraud, and abuse. And Doge has been under fire for their young age, with people saying they're not qualified. However, Elon seems to disagree, saying we need young
23 years old. I was qualified galley watch captain on a fucking submarine.
Might be able to crack the government spending problem. What do you think?
So
I fed people like that. Radio men, sonar men, navigational ETs. They run all that sophisticated equipment on submarines. Fuck you guys. Fuck you, Wiggin.
As these federal employees have had
fucking buddy fucker.
From under them in a lot
of you're a buddy fucker.
There was one employee.
You're the one that keeps stealing my fucking wallet.
Shut down USAID. I think it's moved now as like a subsidiary of the State Department. But basically all operations have stopped, and there were Zoom calls that USAID employees were in that just like were cut out, like just gone when Trump said this is over. And what's funny about it's like Thanos, right? Like he snaps his fingers, like all these people disappear, like it's all over, it's all shut down. That is efficiency. Like that is what we've asked for. We're no more of these like really complicated steps that we have to go through that then give people time to figure out how they can keep doing the bad things they're doing. No, he comes in, he says, you're done. And it's been incredible to watch.
It's all working out.
Actually, Patrick Rowe, it's not just the DOD, it's all departments in the Department of Defense. And they did the Marine Corps first, and they were perfect. I know what it's like to be audited because they have NA inspections on submarines. That's an audit. Patrick.
Groceries. And when's the last time you checked your wireless?
Fatty cakes.
When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it.
That's a pretty good joint right there, Pat. You want to fucking arm wrestle? I'll arm wrestle you.
Anytime anybody complains about their self-help, you gotta check out.
Thankful I don't time you out, Patrick.
Get you switched and saving in 1 minute. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big
I like watching you whimper. Been taking lessons from Whippermanel, haven't you? Whipperwomanal. That's what I call him. That fucking guy. Come beat me up, Whipperman. I'm right here. You do pretty good staying away from them trees. I'd like to see you cross-country ski. I don't think you could do it. I think you'd be tuckered out. You'd be fucking lagging behind, not keeping up. I'd have to come on and pick you up and get you back up on your fucking feet because you wouldn't be able to stand on them skinny little skis. You need them great big fucking wide ones. Come cross country ski, Whipper. I mean, you are rich, right? Why don't you borrow some money from your friend 6 feet under?
Never heard. Following this in on your and contact.
Well, the military industrial complex are the senators and the congressmen who are in bed with the unions and all them, because the government, they don't make cars, they don't make jeeps, they don't make boots for the soldiers, and they don't build the ships. The civilians do that shit. Patrick. So it's the elected officials, people like Maxine Waters, Auntie Maxie, as Joy Reen calls her over on MSNBC.
One tries to get icy with me. I do, and it's all
No, you don't get it, Patrick. You're listening to the program and you're not liking what you're hearing. All right. They hired 87,000 more IRS agents, Patrick. So that means when your grandchildren become adults and they take a risk and they want to open their own business, maybe you have a granddaughter that wants to sell bridal uniforms, whatever. All right. The government makes it hard on them to become rich. Why are we demonizing the rich when they're not demonizing the people like Schumer? Why is he rich? You don't get it, Patrick. You don't. The enlisted is they're the backbone of the military. So when you say DOD, okay, those are the people who suffer if the senior people don't take care of them right. There's a reason the commander-in-chief is a civilian, Patrick. Department of Defense is funded by Congress. Tax law is written each year. So right now they already wrote the tax law, right? So anything Trump basically does as far as that, he's not going to be in effect until the next fiscal year, which is October 1st this year. You don't know how government works, Patrick. You need to fucking get out of your chair and you jump on your motorcycle and go down to the bar, pick up a chick and bring her home and impress us all. That's what you need to do, Patrick. No, I don't. Tell me what I need. Now you're acting like Wiggin, telling me what I need to do. I am the Department of Defense, you dumb fucker. In YouTube chat. Something in my eye. We got a phone call.
2 years of doing this stuff.
What job is that?
Right now, a business or Medicare. And my email this morning. I've never seen before. 10 rescinded change orders from CMS. Transgender stuff. I've seen edits. I've seen changes I have never seen.
So what does that
Then I
mean,
come in.
basically?
They didn't want to turn up.
What we told you to do, stop. Just don't do any more. Find out if we're reversing it or not.
You can deal with the side chatters, Pat. Leave my fucking name out of your fucking vocabulary. I see you type my name, I'm erasing your comment. Patrick, you're on the fucking list.
Has been paying for those.
If my name isn't you, don't call me you. That's my biggest pet peeve. Don't address me as you. My name isn't you. It's Billy.
Stacey, that seems like great news to me. Absolutely. I don't want my tax dollars going towards that at all. They don't need to be going towards that.
It doesn't matter, Pat. You're not here to see me leave my house. It's impossible. See, you get drunk and you just ramble on and say stupid shit. That's all you do, Patrick.
These agencies and making these things happen.
You're all talk.
Kennedy, once he gets settled into his position as head of HHS, he's going to have a lot more to say about this. A lot more coming up next. It's Jim and Avita for Dan on the Dan Bondino Show.
See what I'm doing. You probably seen me in Vegas chat earlier. You probably see everybody talking about me, especially Lady Venom. That dumb fuck. Then there's Tiffany. Come up and teach me a lesson, Tiffany. They all restream me, Tiffany. You don't see me running around crying and fucking turn them in. Daughter of Truth's got more pictures of me you can shake a stick at. He's not a captain anymore. He's a civilian. I don't think he was a major. I think he made 04 as a major. Hey, Patty Cakes. Charlie's in Vegas. He says he's not ever coming to my chat again. He doesn't like Levin because he's Jewish.
In aviation, everyone cares about not getting it wrong. NTSB member Hayden offering insight into the investigation involving the collision between an American Airlines flight and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter.
He's just doing it to troll me because Wiggin doesn't like me listening to Mark Levin. Wiggin doesn't like Wiggin. I keep calling him Wiggin. He doesn't like how I cast my show. I don't put comments up, and I keep removing people's comments and stuff like that. And I don't know how to take a joke. I shouldn't even be doing this. He wants me to just quit. I should just leave because I'm no good at it. And he's going to call me son because I'm younger than him. Well, I don't hear you calling her daughter. You're fucking your daughter. You're paying your daughter and you're getting a fucking blowjob. I can't see you two having sex. You just sit here and talk about it. Nobody's jealous that she comes and visits you. Certainly not me. And I still, I wish I knew for sure, King Rob. You're so sexy. How can you go and not have sex? You're not having sex with Zenny. Jerking off on the internet is not sex. It's not intercourse. There's a reason why it's called intercourse. You gotta have something to stick it in beside your hand. Playing grab ass. Wiggins mad because I have a talent he doesn't have. That's not her name. She's not a child warrior princess. She is she a preacher? She's philanthropist. Is she really? I don't know. They talk about the Bible and shit over there. Wiggin has some cockamamie stories, I can tell you that. Most of the time, I'd rather hear him fucking string on that guitar than hear listen to him talk. Yeah. Yeah, he's always, Ain't got no fucking teeth. How come you don't have any teeth, Wiggin? What happened to them fuckers? Fucking dating that rotten pussy. You must did a lot of fucking cocaine. That's why the side of your face is all caved in. People who do cocaine, you could be 40 years old and look like you're fucking 70. I'm not a cokehead. See, your problem, Wiggin, you don't want me to enjoy my life, and that's just too fucking bad. I'm enjoying it. Charlie's an idiot. You've been hearing me. There's a reason I call him Queer Lito. Queer doesn't necessarily mean you're a homosexual. Queer also means you're odd, strange, peculiar. And his last name is Price, so I'll call him Peculiar Price. Because he is fucking queer. You're queer, Charlie. Every time Wiggin come up here, I want to talk to him on my own. And Wiggins got to bring his gang to fucking, fuck you, Wiggin. Come on, go live, Wiggin. Fucker. Patrick Rowe, Daughter of Truth would stick her nose in your business just like what Tiffany does. They're both the same. That's why they're friends, because that's what they do. And so the tag team is the British girls against the American girls. I think we could come up with a better tag team to take on Wolfie and Zenny. Come on, you guys. Making USA look bad. The fucking British girls look better. Fuck you, Wiggin. You got a thumping coming your way, boy. You better hope Wolfie doesn't decide to come up here. I'll let her take right over. She can bring Rusty with her. I don't give a shit. It's my turn. It would be like The Rock. One side says you are, and the other side says asshole. You are asshole. Only my words are you are touch hole. I'm going to touch your hole, Wiggin, with my foot. I guarantee it. viewers. I'll get fucking 200 views. Because you can't help but go back and watch and see. You have to. You don't have to, but you know. Charlie, tonight I'm gonna turn him up just as loud as if fucking my computer will take it. Dan Bongino used to be a New York City police officer, by the way, you fucking idiots.
Thanks for listening. You want to give us a call? 3-844-484-3872, 844 the USA. Just what's going on right now, since there's always breaking news all the time. Apparently Doge is in court now over Treasury Department data access. So they're freaking out. The left is freaking out, trying to shut Elon from getting any information on anything so that he can make government more efficient. And these people just are consistently melting down. Trump is in the Oval now, signing more executive orders. When we find out the information on that, we'll get back to you. But, you know, this is incredible. Avita, you were listening to that with me just a few minutes ago in the break. And you had Letitia James outside the courtroom there trying to say, oh, we're all interested in stopping waste and fraud. Do you think any of these people are interested in stopping any kind of waste and fraud? I mean, she's in New York, too.
No, I mean, first of all, she is an enemy of the American people, for sure, with the lawfare against President Trump. And the DOJ is actually suing New York, and specifically her, for the way that they are
civil lawsuits, not criminal, it's civil.
And not allowing the Trump admin to get rid of the rapists, murderers, and thieves who are in this country illegally.
Well, if they find other things, it can turn criminal.
Criminals. And New York has declared itself a sanctuary for illegals in this country. It is so wrong. And allowing to get driver's licenses.
Fraud is a crime.
For accessing those databases to know who is here illegally, who isn't. This is a completely corrupt and
10 years, $10,000 fine if you commit a fraud against the federal government.
People in mind, clearly, otherwise they'd be
minimum.
And opening the doors for ICE to come in and say, all these illegal criminals who are here.
At least that's what it used to be.
New Yorkers, get them out. But they're not saying
10 grand in 10 years if you try to defraud the federal government. Or if you do and get caught.
This is the Saul Alinsky rules. I think it's rule number 12. Find the target, freeze it. And that's what they're trying to do with Musk. Whereas actually Trump is using that rule too, what he's doing with government spending, and they can't handle it. So here's 3 liberal Democrats freaking out. This one, Melanie Stansberry, she's really making her way up the rankings as far as the dumbest member of Congress, Dan Bongino show, dumbest member of Congress tournament that's coming up, March Sadness, coming up here in a few weeks. She's really trying to make it up the rankings as far as seatings. And then you have this other New York Congressman, Hogan, and then Stephen Mackey from, he's somewhere in New England. I can't remember which one it is. But listen to these, the freak out over Elon Musk, and then the lies that they tell, too. And they also get into, again, climate change. We got to get back to climate change. Listen to this just diatribe of insanity.
Anyone in America wake up tomorrow and find out that they have to boil their water because today's workforce and couldn't afford it on the building. So we're here to make sure that that doesn't happen, and we provide a great work. So just already here, these guys have already packed the system to protect the environment.
We lost 4 presidents here. Previous now we're trying to again, according to the law. So we're here with Senator Biden. Elon Musk said, "We're putting USA ideas in wood chipper." And they're going to put wood
chipper.
That's why we're here.
Okay, so this is what I got out of that one thing I wrote. So first, Stansberry They're going to get rid of the EPA so there'll be no more water. You're going to have to boil all your water. The Hogan guy from New York, we lost 4 years on the climate agenda, the climate scam. So we have to get back to that. And then finally, Markey says the EPA is going to go in the wood chipper. So we're not going to have clean air, water, and, anything else. So we need a government agency, Avita, to be able to have these nice things. Without it, we're going to die.
It's such a fallacy, Jim, that all of these that all these agencies are going to solve the problems of the world. And first of all, climate change really is the climate scam. My dad has been talking to me about this. I know I'm hearing about my dad, but it's true. He's the Secretary of the Department of Transportation. He said it's crazy how many climate projects this department was focused on, and not safety and infrastructure and what it actually is meant to do. Instead, we're pursuing these left-wing ideological endeavors, and not what the American people actually want them to be focused on, or even want them to exist at all in the first place. These are completely inefficient departments and agencies. They do not help the American people, and in fact, really, most of the time, they slow us down. They slow down infrastructure. They slow down education, and impede on the will of parents who want to actually be involved in what kind of education their children are getting. This is why Trump wants to get rid of the Department of Education. This is, Jim, such a backward mindset that we are seeing from Democrats in Congress, who again, and in the federal bureaucracy, who are not in touch with the American people actually want their government to do.
I was going to go to something different, but you brought up Department of Education, and here's the Democrat thinking, because you're exactly right about that. Everything you just described was summed up yesterday on The View by Sonny Hostin, freaking out about closing the Department of Education. It goes right along with those three lunatics freaking out about closing the EPA, which Zeldin hasn't said he's going to do, by the way. I personally think it's a great idea. It's only been around since Nixon. We can do without it. If it's only been there since the 70s and the country made it that far without it, I think we'd be okay without it. But here's Sonny Hostin freaking out about the Department of Education, which has only been around since the late 70s as well. And we were handling education pretty well before this came along. Here she is freaking out about it.
It's not really about saving money. No. I think there's a much more nefarious reason for it. I think it's because without education, you get cheaper labor. I think what they want to do is create in the United States a permanent underclass, a permanent cheap workforce, because educated workers cost more. That is the bottom line, and that's what they're doing.
But she's an example of an educated person, right?
Well, Joe, I was going to say, is the irony completely lost on the co-hosts of The View, given that they're advocating for an entire class of people to be in this country who are uneducated, who will work for low wages? There's no acknowledgement of the hypocrisy of that statement. They are the ones actively advocating and not openly saying we need to have these illegals here because we want them to work for low wages that Americans won't actually work for. They are explicitly saying that. It's the same argument for slavery. Like, who will pick the cotton? Like, who will pick the strawberries in California? It's the same argument.
They
Jim.
said that.
And the thing about, and the real reason, Jim, that they want a Department of Education is not because it's so great and will keep people educated. It's that they love to inject DEI and all of these federal standards that are corrupting our youth. And they don't like it when parents at school board meetings come in and say, yeah, we're done with that. This is over. And we get people on the school board who actually want to effectuate the change that the parents want to see had in the school system. They hate that. And in fact, they'll call the FBI on you if you're a parent who tries to question the way that the school is indoctrinating your child.
And not only that, she's ignoring the actual effects of our education system since we've had a Department of Education. Test scores down, math scores down, literacy down. The kids can't read, kids can't do math because they keep being indoctrinated with all this woke garbage. Almost said something else. And she doesn't get it. But what she said in there too, because there's going to be no Department of Education, therefore there will be no education. How do you jump to that conclusion? I mean, it's the most ridiculous jump. And she's supposed to be an educated person. She's a lawyer. And I don't understand this mentality that everything has to be controlled from Washington, D.C., and nothing can be controlled on a local level. And I take that back. I do understand it. Because if you can, that's what they want. Because if you have different ideas in different places, it could prove their one idea, their one centralized idea wrong. And that's basically what it all comes down to.
And Jim, there's a misunderstanding. I don't think anybody's read the Constitution.
No, not in a long time.
And nobody on The View, nobody in Congress apparently, or at least the Democrats, nobody in the federal bureaucracy, because we have this thing called the 10th Amendment, which says that the power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people, meaning that the Department of Education isn't in the Constitution. No, okay, so it's not going to be a federal agency. Like that, there are a lot of departments and agencies and bloat that was never allowed by the Constitution, and that just seems to be completely lost on half the country.
They don't understand, again, going back to the Constitution, or if you go back even to the Declaration and the debates on the Constitution, everything that they were trying to do focused around individual liberty and the sovereignty of each person. It's in the first freaking 3 words of the Constitution. We the people. It's not that hard. That's who the government is. We the people.
Patrick Rose worried about the DOD.
And it's even more pathetic. It's like because they want.
That's in the Constitution. The militia is in the Constitution. Each state has its own militia. When you go into office, whether you enlist, you get a commission as an officer, or you're elected, the oath of office is the same. Defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So, Patrick, you're talking about the wrong one. It's all the other agencies that we fund that are unconstitutional. That's the first thing they should be spending $1 on, are soldiers' boots and ships for the sailors. You ain't going to get this at Wiggins.
Means, what does the university system want, and the corporate media and the federal bureaucracy? That is what democracy means to them. Mike Benz has explained this pretty well on multiple occasions. So we think that we know the terms and we have the definitions straight, and we don't, because again, they are playing word games with us, and they don't actually want to protect democracy or the republic or the Constitution. They have different definitions of what that means, and they label themselves as defenders of freedom, when in reality, they are the exact opposite. And that goes back to what J.D. Vance was telling the Europeans this week when he said, why are you guys censoring speech and freedom? It's the same thing here.
Yes, exactly the same thing. And that, you know what, sadly, there are some Democrats that get it and that understand it. When Dean Phillips tried to primary Joe Biden because he saw that he was basically a walking bag of oatmeal, and he wanted to help fix things, and he saw that the Democrats were headed in the wrong direction, and then you get Kamala Harris installed instead of giving this guy a shot. Maybe they should listen to the Dean Phillips in their party and stop and get out of the nonsense that they're playing. Just listen to this quick clip.
Unfortunately, Democrats are only focused on one thing right now, Mr. Musk. The fact of the matter, he's quite popular. He has the largest platform in human history, which is, of course, Twitter/X. And I think we're missing the boat as Democrats. And all I'm saying is that sometimes it's better to join them and actually play a role in how the strategy works, rather than so pathetically, frankly, try to combat something that clearly is a steamroller, and Democrats are being steamrolled.
And that's it. So there are Democrats that want to fix it. All right, pushed it too far here, so we're going to talk about this a little bit more on the other side of the break. It's Jim and Avita in for Dan on the Dan Bongino Show. Have you seen the news from some economists forecasting a depression, not a recession? Depression by the year 2030? We could be in a perfect storm if Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point with the largest generation hitting retirement. Smaller workforce usually means a smaller tax base. Pair that with our growing national debt and rising cost of living, we could have a big problem. So what are you doing now to help protect your family for the future? Gold has been a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. Help protect your future today. Text Bongino 989898. Get your free info kit on gold. You also get a copy of The Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. No obligation, only information. I buy my gold from Birch Gold, and you can trust them too. Text my name, Bongino, to the number 989898 today. Message and data rates apply.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Working hard is worth it if you're seeing results. And when it comes to working out, the same thing is true. You want the maximum benefit in the time you have, and that's exactly what Tonal is built for. And with their latest iteration, Tonal 2, you can ensure your workout is more tailored and effective than ever. Tonal's at-home strength training system uses adaptive weight to learn from your movement and set the optimal weight for every move, adjusting in 1-pound increments up to 250 pounds, challenging even the most advanced users to push their limits. You can also experience a full-body burn with the new Arrowhit workout, the perfect blend of heart-pumping cardio and strength. Plus, the new built-in Smart View leverages a high-resolution camera that lets you see yourself during your workout, analyzes your movement, and provides real-time coaching, just like a personal trainer. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code TONAL200. That's Tonal.com and use promo code TONAL200 for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com, promo code TONAL200 for $200 off.
Attention taxpayers, the IRS is intensifying collections in 2025. If you owe $10,000 or more or have unfiled tax returns, it's time to take action. Tax Network USA's experienced lawyers have saved clients over $1 billion. They're ready to negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Don't risk wage garnishment, property seizure, or losing your home. Call 1-800-278-9000 today. Get the help you need at 1-800-278-9000 or visit tnusa.com.
LifeLock during tax season, you're sensitive info.
Patrick, I feel generous today. I timed you out for 10 minutes. Usually I hit the 24-hour. That fucking takes care of it. All right. But I timed you out for 10 minutes. So if you went to post, it says you timed out. I let you know. I timed you out for 10 minutes. You know, if you were in my bar, I'd throw you out by now. Yeah, I would. I'd grab you by the back of the neck and if you tried to fight me, I'd knock you out and then throw you out. Patrick. Now, if you showed up at my bar and you were on your bike, I wouldn't do that to you. Probably you'd have to get really ignorant. And you don't want to do that at a fucking biker bar. I've seen it happen. Don't be ignorant. You're gonna get hurt. I watched a guy go flying out the door. 2 people threw him out the door head first, knife and all. He pulled fucking knife out. They fucking threw him out. I've seen it. And then go back to playing guitar and fucking drinking, smoking pot, and doing whatever. Drink. There's waste, fraud, and abuse in all the agencies. So Marine Corps, they got a clean bill of health. They were audited, and they're all right. Ain't nobody defrauding the government and the Marine Corps. So we hope, anyways, that we know of.
25 years and millions of orders shipped. Genucell skincare products have had the same antioxidants, same base, same chef in the kitchen. Visit Genucell.com.
It's only water.
Genucell.com/Montana. And every order until today, best-selling plus microdermabrasion treatment. Shipping is also free. Wait, order now. Genucell.com/Bongino. Genucell.com/Bongino. Genucell.com/Bongino.
At the Chris Plank Show, in the least surprising study ever, liberal women are the least happy and loneliest people in America. I am on WMAL.
All right, to be right before the break here, Phillips there. I mean, there is a sensible Democrat out there. Do you think there are enough of them to affect a change in the party?
No, Jim, and I think that it's going to take a generation or two before they start to figure things out. I think that right now, the establishment, the leaders in this party are, unless they have a Donald Trump factor, Jim, unless somebody comes in and saves them like Trump did the Republican Party, they don't stand a chance unless the Nancy Pelosi's of the Democratic Party die off. I think that's the only way.
So you listen to a guy like Dean Phillips, and the thing is, it's like, who's Dean Phillips? I mean, what he said was great, but like you said, he's not a Donald Trump. There's not a lot of charisma there. But at the same time, these are words that have to be followed. I don't think anybody with a personality or charisma can rise up.
What I think is that the left needs left-wing populism. The left-wing populism is very scary, but that's the only way they're going to combat the right-wing populism we're seeing with President Trump. And they're not doing that right now. They have instead allied themselves with the federal bureaucracy and statecraft and everything that the American people have turned against.
Exactly. All right, we're going to talk about Trump in Canada coming up next. This should be interesting. So he's still on the 51st Street. This should be fun. All right, a lot more coming up. We're going to be an intro Dan on the Dan Martin.
The timeshare trap and think there's no way out. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original.
Battery charges fast.
And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-581-1414. That's 800-581-1414.
We were in the car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore. My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes. He got $2 million in coverage. No medical exam.
Never did ask that guy with the banjo. What's the price of a new banjo these days? Anybody know? That's what I should get, is a banjo. 5 strings. Earl Scruggs. Roy Clark was one of the best guitarists ever. That guy.
Also want to relate on the outer loop between the Georgetown Pike and the Tollers. They're good with one thing. And you move my delays on the outside. Tyson and the Springfield interloop so 123 to Clare Park Parkway. And again, more delays to Bethesda and College Park. Still the accident in Landover on 202 between Central Avenue and Boxford Road. And there is the crash on Maryland 198 at 197. Now from GarageFair.com, the WMAL Stormwater Center forecast.
Tonight, increasing clouds with a low around 28. Tomorrow, a wintry mix and then rain, highs near 42.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's Disease Research Program. Cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237.
Pretty slow. I timed Patrick out for 10 minutes. Wow. That's something. Oh. This program now has a job in the Trump administration. Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Feel different. But if you feel different, you drop different. So don't drop. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council. WMAL, making sense of the economy, money, and your retirement. Download the WMAL. Just leave us for free. Any questions? Call 8444 the USA to get the answers. 844-484-3872. The Dan Bongino Show.
President Trump is doing something, Jim, that it's making me take a pause. I've been loving everything that's happened so far. It's been amazing. It's everything I voted for. One thing I didn't vote for, Jim, is making Canada a 51st state. I did not ask for Canada to be part of the United States of America. They could be a territory, that's fine, but a state, I don't know. And Trump yesterday did something pretty interesting. He suggested that he will remove all military protection from enemies abroad for Canada in order to pressure them into becoming the 51st state. Do we have a soundbite of that, Jim? Let's play it.
Canada's been very bad to us on trade, but now Canada's going to have to start paying up. And Canada's been tough on the military because they have a very low military cost. They think we're going to, protect them with our military, which is unfair. So Canada's going to be a very interesting situation because, we just don't need that product. And yet, we survive off the fact that, 95% of what they do. And Canada is just absolute at saying. Sometimes people smile and sometimes they say, wait a minute, but Canada would, the taxes would come down greatly, their security would go up greatly. Amazing things happen to Canada. And really, Canada in particular, why would we do what we do?
When you test the wrong spot, fucks your timing up.
Somebody else's country.
Listen, it's a fine point, Jim. I think Canada needs to pay its fair share. I think that they've definitely been taking advantage of us, as has the rest of the world. At the same time, they can be a territory, not a state. And the reason I say that, Jim, is because we don't want their poisonous electoral votes. Canada is essentially a communist country. At this point, they will kill people in their country if they're mentally ill or if they're elderly because they have socialized medicine. These are people who vote routinely for really bad leaders, and there are good people in Canada. There definitely are. And they are probably oppressed by the majority in Canada. But unfortunately, that majority would be very poisonous electorally for the United States. What are your thoughts, Jim?
I think it never had to get that way. I don't know if you knew this, but Canada was almost a part of the United States. One bullet changed that. It was during the American Revolution, and I think it was a General Montgomery invading the fort at Quebec. And he's coming up, and they're about to take the fort. And if the colonists take that fort and keep it through the end of the war, all that territory would have been U.S. territory. But Montgomery was shot, troops got spooked, and then they just took off, and they never got that close into Canada again. That's how close we were getting to Canada in the first place. Now, if you think about Canada itself, strategically and from a land point of view, that would be great to have because they do have the oil. They do have some natural resources that we can use. It's absolutely beautiful. That's where
sun's starting to shine in the window.
In Banff, Alberta, which is just the most beautiful place you'll ever see in your life. But yes, I think you're right that you're not going to be able to change that mindset. But here's the other thing that I don't know enough about the politics of what's going on there, but from what I understand of the, tertiary knowledge that I have of it is that there's a lot of parts of it that would be kind of what you would consider a MAGA part of the state, like your Alberta, basically the rural areas like that. But
sure,
your Quebec and your Ontario, that's where you got your problems. And they win elections because basically, it's the same thing with California. You got LA, San Francisco, and that's why they will
not right now. I'm listening to this.
A lot to change them. And the same thing in Canada is you've got Quebec, Montreal.
When this is over
Toronto,
with, or during a commercial, maybe.
Decide the government for the entire country. So yes,
it's only 20 minutes left.
I agree with you from a territory standpoint. I don't know the inner workings of that.
The last call.
He's not. I don't think he's talking about it to make him a 51st state. I think this is just another negotiating ploy for him to get what he wants. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Maybe better trade deals, which in the end that seems to be what it is. But I like the fact that he keeps bringing it on for sure, because I like when he stirs the pot.
It is certainly a troll, and he is trolling Justin Trudeau a lot with this. There's a lot of joking going on. He actually referred to Justin Trudeau as not the prime minister, but something else. Let's play that.
Canada, there's obviously a delay in implementing those tariffs. I spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens. I love that.
Governor Trudeau. It's a state now. And Governor Trudeau does not like being called Governor Trudeau at all. Jim, here is how he has responded to Trump's threats of making Canada the 51st state.
I've said unequivocally from the beginning, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that Canada will ever be the 51st state.
Not a snowball's chance in hell. Is that a normal? Canadians tweet out us, Dan Bonagino show. Is that a phrase that they use? Snowball's chance in hell? And Jim, if I'm going to be honest with you, that phrase, that whole response, so weak, so beta, so cringe. It made me think, okay, maybe actually Canada will become a state.
Sounded like JC.
Justin Trudeau's in charge, at least for now. And wow, they're at a disadvantage.
Watch her praise the guy. That first year you streamed, JC. He's the fucking greatest. His dad was great, and he's great. I remember it.
Yeah, so he right. There's the Liberal Party still has to. Well, the liberal and conservative party are trying to put forth a prime minister, have somebody replace him. They haven't
Miss International.
vote yet or made a decision yet. I'm not sure exactly how the process works in Canada, but yes, he will resign and be done as soon as they have a replacement for him. But the unfortunate thing for Canada right now is if you look at what the Conservative Party and then also I think her last name is Freeland in Canada. She's the front to replace Trudeau for the Liberal Party.
She stepped down. She actually was his lieutenant, and she stepped down because she thought he was getting too, moving 2 steps to the right. And
crazy. Yeah, and the thing is, Jim, on for both conservatives and liberals in Canada, nobody is handling Trump in a very measured way. They have responded by saying, "We'll retaliate dollar by dollar," and Friesen saying, "We're going to have the biggest trade blow of all time to the United States of America. They won't see what's coming to them." And the problem, Jim, is that their GDP is like a tiny fraction of the United States of America. They cannot compete with us in a trade war. And the best thing to do is to make friends with President Trump. And no one's doing it. They just have the worst leadership possible.
And it's a completely empty threat. Like you said, they don't have any leverage in this situation.
None.
That if they're going to not renege on their tariffs, then they've got a real problem because their economy is going to be crushed with the tariffs that Trump wants to implement on them. So, I mean, just can't, you need to try and get along. You need to fix the situation. We're not going to be taken advantage of anymore. You had a thing on Brits as well, too. Trump.
Well, wait, can I just make one point, Jim? Because the CEO of Shopify, the founder of Shopify, is actually a Canadian company. Founder's a Canadian guy. And he had a really great point on Twitter where he essentially said, we are different than America, right? What is America first? It is what Trump's doing right now, acting like the world superpower. It is exercising the strength that we possess. Putting Canada first is different than what putting America first looks like. Putting Canada first is not acting like President Trump and giving him the middle finger. It is actually creating peace with President Trump, making deals with President Trump, instead of making your country vulnerable to a trade war that would crush them. There's a difference in putting India first and putting Canada first and putting America first. And frankly, Jim, it really highlights how our leaders have not been putting us first. This is the first time ever that we've actually acted like the world superpower, like ever, and in the interest of the American people, which I think is really important.
Right. And the rest of the world is seeing this right now. Hey, we're not kidding around. You're not taking advantage of us anymore. We talked about that in the first hour with NATO, and Pete Hegseth telling him you're going to have to pay up. We're not going to be able to protect you anymore at the rates that you're paying into this thing. And this whole thing with Trump's and BRICS was kind of a big deal too. He's not messing around.
Yeah, but BRICS was put there for a bad purpose. And most of those people, they don't even want to talk about it now. They're afraid to talk about it because I told them if they want to play games with the dollar, then they're going to be hit with a 100% tariff the day they mention that they want to do it. And they will come back and say, we beg you not to do this. BRICS is dead since I mentioned that. BRICS died the minute I mentioned that. And I remember when Obama and Biden in particular, I guess he said that, they have us over a barrel. They don't have us over a barrel. We have them over a barrel.
I mean, this is fascinating, Jim, because we have been for a long time now just been inundated with all these articles and videos of people saying BRICS is going to destroy the dollar. We're going to spiral into a depression. We're going to have our currency is going to collapse. President Biden was doing nothing about this, by the way. He was just like, okay, BRICS, yeah, it's bad, but like, what can I do? It's like, you're the president of the United States. I don't know, something. And Trump steps in within a couple weeks of him being president. BRICS is dead because he says there will be consequences if you continue down this path. And that is what true leadership looks like. I don't understand why we've had beta males running this country who are completely incapable. of actually using the power we have to protect the American people, protect our currency.
You know, in a way, though, I can't possibly blame some of these countries. First of all, many of them in this BRICS are enemies of the United States, and
Sure.
they're looking at this as a tool to fight them. They actually had a good point, though, because Joe Biden's economic policies were devaluing the dollar so badly, it was easy to convince other countries to jump on board. You had in this what BRICS is. It's 10 countries: Brazil, China, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, Iran, Russia, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates. So you had some of these allies. The UAE is an ally, South Africa, an ally, Brazil, supposedly an ally. Yeah. I mean, kind of, yes. So supposedly an ally. But you have China, Iran, and Russia in there. And you had India in there. That was kind of remedied a little bit yesterday as well, when President Trump welcomed Prime Minister Modi to the Oval, and they had a joint press conference, and Prime Minister Modi seems to be getting on board, and I don't think he's going to be a part of this. Listen to what he said.
I would say this, borrowing an expression from America, vision for a developed India is to make India great again, or MEGA. When America and India work together, that is, when MAGA, when it's MAGA plus MEGA, it becomes mega, a mega partnership for prosperity.
Now, in that joint meeting, too, Trump announced the reciprocal tariffs, which India has a high rate of tariffs against us. And he and Modi were all smiles. I don't know what they talked about behind the scenes, but this is Donald Trump getting it done, taking away one of those BRICS nations.
Right, making them an ally all of a sudden. I mean, and I don't know if Russia is an ally. I mean, it's certainly not an ally of the United States, but he's neutralizing that threat as well, saying we're going to have peace now. We're done with this. Obviously, Ukraine is not going to become a NATO power, so that threat is now going to be gone for you guys. He is facilitating peace and frankly, free but fair trade across the world. This is what you want from a leader. This is what the founding fathers envisioned when they said, commerce with all and entanglements with none. Right? I mean, this is the vision, and it's what I voted for.
All right, we got calls coming up next. If you want to give us a call, we usually do that in the last segment. 844-484-3872, 844-4-the-USA. It's Jim and Avita in for Dan on the Dan Bongino Show.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider. 800-444-9336. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems. If you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to buy a $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Term Provider.
All right, last call before I go. There you are, Patrick. There's a link. You think you want to come up? Yeah. Hello.
What's going on, Billy?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm a happy American today.
Wow. This fucking weather, boy. Where you been lately? Whose panel you been on?
I haven't been on anybody's panel. I've been bouncing around a little bit. I've been kind of laying low a little bit. But no, I'm not too much on these panels. I mean, I don't have too many left. I mean, you, Acid, I guess Wiggin, I watched Wiggin for a little while yesterday. Are y'all friends right now?
He ain't never been my friend.
I don't know. I can't keep up with y'all.
He ain't never been my, I don't want to say
I
your
don't know
name
y'all's
because
history.
I've been here just as long as him. When he sits there and does what he does, right? He wasn't, JC was the first one to use the StreamYard and go live.
Right.
I know that, others did, they were streaming. Okay. They were a couple, 3 people. I'm not going to say their names. They know who they are. And they're all in this group that do this. So, it's one big happy family. We're the most dysfunctional. We're the most dysfunctional people on YouTube in these chats.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of figuring that out, But look, Billy, while I'm up here, what really drew me up here is because, I was listening to your radio and stuff. What's your opinion? How you feeling about this Doge shit? I mean, I'm happy as fuck.
The shit's hitting the fan.
And
Biden lost in 2020. There was fraud. Nancy Pelosi should be in jail. Adam Schiff,
all of them,
and Mitch McConnell. He's just as fucking bad. Worse, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they blowing this shit wide open, and I gotta say, I am a proud American, because, Trump's doing something people say they're gonna do. He's fucking, he's got balls, man, and he ain't trying to steal nobody's identification.
Water is scared because the Congressional Black Caucus is nothing but a bunch of fucking thieves.
Right. And she was flapping her face, trying to get into the Department of Education. And that one lone dude just held them off, Yeah, they tried to mob up and go in there.
Kept pointing at him.
Yeah, trying to, typical bullshit.
And she knows better. She's caught. She's what? Talk about insider trading.
Oh. Yeah, well, all they wanted to do was go in there and cause a big old commotion. They didn't want to go in there, we have an appointment to see anybody. They're a group of 100 people.
You know why she wants to go
in there?
No, hold on, Andy. You know why she wanted to go into that building and do what you know why she was there? She was scared. They want to take hammers to the fucking computers like Hillary did.
Right. Once they gain access,
they're gonna use Bleach Bit. Yeah, she's gonna get all the information, so they can't. It's too late now.
Well, listen to this, Billy. I was reading on the internet a little earlier. 3,000 Forest Service people got fired. Ain't that fucking funny? With all these fucking houses and millions, tens of thousands.
Is there a department of forestation? Does the federal government have forest range? I thought those were state by state.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think it's the Forest Service.
There's a Department of Interior, and we do have federal lands.
I don't know exactly. I don't know. I just read. I think it said Forest Service. But my whole thing is 3,000, Billy. How many people are these motherfuckers employing? How many fucking people are they sucking on the tit?
Well, you see, the news has been going on. All that money, FEMA, the president of the United States authorized FEMA to transfer funds to New York City. It's that simple. It really is. Even Wiegand should know that. Now, he's the greatest economist out here. He knows how everything is run.
Right.
Hold on. He's the only one that knows how. He knows how. Billy doesn't know. Everybody. I'm picking fights with everybody, but he's the one that goes after him. I don't go to JT.
I mean, I like to talk about it. I don't try to pretend to be a Mr. Know-It-All. I like talking about it. It's like I'm talking to you about it. Are you talking about that 60 million or whatever, or that 80 million they took back?
All we know right now is that the Department of Justice has filed civil suits against the state of New York and Governor Hochul. Right? They took the FEMA funds and they were housing illegal immigrants.
Right,
Period.
in luxury hotels. Well, they snatched 80 million out of their fucking bank account, in New York City's bank account.
Called fraud.
Yeah.
If you defraud the government, just upon enlisting in a branch of military, if you lie, you defraud, you can be liable minimum $10,000 fine and 10 years in jail. Right?
I mean, yeah.
Are you
Billy?
Right? I don't know. Did you ever enlist? Did you ever take oath of enlistment?
No, I'm an Army brat, and as a result, I had no desire.
Your father did. Yeah, your father.
Yeah.
When you're on active duty, you're subjected to that. And you can be put on report. Somebody doesn't like you, you can get railroaded very easily in the military.
Yeah.
You're with the wrong bunch of people.
Yeah, it's a hellacious family life, Billy. It's a rough family life. I know. But Billy, I saw something too, like trillions of dollars of fraud. I mean, we shouldn't have a national debt, Billy. Our taxes should be cut in half. I mean, it's fucked up.
It's been going on a long time, Andy. It's not anything new. It's just the details are finally out. They're caught. Adam Schiff, he's the worst one. On that Judiciary Committee, he flat out libeled on the floor of the House. Right. I see the senators do that, and they're somewhat protected. They can say whatever they want, But Chuck Schumer stood on the steps of the Supreme Court and threatened the Supreme Court justices, and somebody showed up at their house going to shoot them. Guy was arrested.
The Supreme Court justice.
You don't hear NBC, ABC, George Stephanopoulos, and all the other ones talking about that. No, it's just no. They're demonizing Elon Musk, a foreigner. He became a U.S. citizen. He can't be president. He's not a natural born citizen.
Right.
He's hired on. He's an auditor.
Right. And, they're calling him all kinds of names.
Isn't Congress supposed to keep a check on themselves, right? To prevent waste, fraud, and abuse? Aren't they supposed to do that?
Right.
So they'll hire outside, independent, If you're Nancy Pelosi, you're the judge, the jury, and the executioner. You're everything. Fucking queen.
I don't know, I just, a couple of days ago, my hope was that 100,000 federal employees would go. Now I'm thinking more like 250,000. And there's so much fucking fat, and they're starting to shake in their shoes a little bit. I do believe.
Well, you do know that Wiegand got on me about Trump a long time ago, and he's installed and he's not doing it right. You hear him say the other night, I'm more right wing than Trump is. If I was in there, well, you're not in there, Wiegand. You're not elected president of the United States. Get an exploratory committee up and run for president. You're so fucking sure of yourself, Wiegand.
Billy,
Anyways,
what does
I got
what
Andy.
is-
I don't mean to cut you off, but I do. I gotta
No,
go.
go ahead.
I got company going to show up here pretty soon.
All right, Billy, later. Good talking to you later.
Thanks for coming up. Yeah, see you later. I'll be back later. I gotta go.